Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, all football fans. What's going on? Welcome to TLP Sports Club. You are now watching TLP Live. I am your host. I go by the name of Harry B, and the B means billion. Welcome, guys. I really appreciate you joining me on today's live. I have a pretty good show for you today. Happy holiday weekend, 4th of July, guys. We are having a great weekend. I hope you are well, you and your family. You're having a great time over there with you and your family. And if you are not well, I pray to God that you are well, that things will start to turn around for you and your family. On today's show, I want to give you a short breakdown of what's happening around college football, give you a short synopsis. We are in the off-season, dead period, they call it. All right. We're just waiting for some football to start, which football has about 8 more weekends before we start actual college football. I want to give you a short synopsis. And then I also want to get into, the second part of the show, I want to talk about Coach Prime, what's going on with Colorado. Then I also want to give you a short update of the of what's happening over there in Cleveland with the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur. And then if I have any other news or with the Louis boys, what's happening with Travis Hunter, what people are saying about Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn, LeJontay Wester, and the rest of the Louis boys, we will get into that. And this show, guys, we're going to get a cracking. But before we get that cracking,
BWB, bandwagon bus.
that's right. It's your man's Harry Billion. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. All right, so let's go ahead and get to work, guys. I no longer wear the hats. You see all of the grays. Haven't had the time to take the gray hair off, so it's all good. Let's get cracking on this show, guys. I appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate you joining me on today. I know you haven't seen my face in a little bit. I've been busy, you know what I'm saying, doing family stuff. It's the holidays now, guys. It's summertime. You know what I'm saying? It's summertime. You got to travel. You got to go here. You got to go there. The family's calling you over here. My son graduated. I got to go get him situated with college. And man, all of that's happening. You feel me? But let's go ahead and jump right into the show without any waiting, guys. I want to let you know that this show is a show where you can call in. Don't get stuck in the comment section. You can call in, guys, and the email right there on your screen. You can write it down for later, or you can write it down for today so that you can email me. I send you a link. You click on that link. You come onto the show. We talk about college football, Coach Prime, and everything we love talking about on this here show when we do go live. So join tlplive@gmail.com. Email again is jointlplive@gmail.com. Okay. My Cash App is also on the screen. That's $T like Tango, L like Larry, P like Peter, sports. Like, you know, we're talking about sports. And then club, like you just joined the best club in sports. That's TLP Sports Club. So $TLP Sports Club is my Cash App, guys. If you want to be generous, I do appreciate it. But again, if you want to call into the show, it's jointlplive@gmail.com. That's Tango, Larry, Peter, or the Liberian Perspective. And if you didn't know that, now you know. So let's go ahead and get started on the show. I have a good show for you today. I hope you all are having a great time. Eric Jackson, what up with you, E? Hope all is well, man. God bless you on this hot Saturday. Don't know what y'all are doing on Saturday. I can, just talk a little bit until more people come, but I would like to know, are y'all barbecuing? What are you putting on the grill? You know what I'm saying? Did you barbecue on the 4th? Did you go to the beach? You know what I'm saying? I was on the highway driving, and I'm leaving the beach area, and the traffic was on this side. So I was like, oh, they're going to the beach. I'm going that way. Yay! No traffic. Yeah, man. So God is good, man. All is well. All is well with me and my family. I hope all is well with you and your family. Let's go ahead and get the show started. We're going to start out with a little update in college football. Like, what is going on around college football? I know a lot of y'all are college football fans. A lot of y'all are, bandwagon Browns, just like myself. You feel me? We're bandwagon buffs, Colorado. We left Colorado. Now we're over here in Cleveland. So now we are the bandwagon Browns, guys. Okay. And of course, somebody took that handle. So if you're here today, bandwagon Browns, what up, Fifth? Hope all is well, guys. Let's go ahead and get this thing cracking. Where are y'all? What are y'all doing? Put that in the chat when you get an opportunity. Are you on the beach today? Did you have to work? Oh, Lord, have mercy. Tell me you ain't have to work. A lot of y'all retailers probably got to work. If you work on the phones or you work, like if you're doing one of these jobs where the holidays are the times where your company makes a lot of money, so you don't get off on the holidays, let us know. I would definitely love to know that. And I feel so bad for you because then you got to go work and like everybody's going, while everybody's heading for the beach or breaking out the barbecue and the grill and everything, and they're shopping, they're buying hot dogs and burgers and stuff, and you're having to get ready for work. You see my face? I'm like, and if you're listening to audio, my face is scrunched up because I'm feeling really bad for you because you got to work today. That's woo-wee. While everybody's enjoying, you got to go to work. But then again, that's why you make the big bucks, right? I understand it. I hope all is well with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and present and share my screen so we can get this show cracking, guys. The off season, I had to ask my, you know what? I did it again. I forgot to take the intro off the screen. And anytime I do that and I share something, I get a black screen. So let's try it one more time. There we go. Okay, so I asked my assistant Chat GPT, and I was like, hey, Chat GPT, assistant, you give me the latest top stories in college football in the 2025 off season. And this is what my assistant gave me. And I hope that, this is pretty accurate because, Chat GPT, it's not that, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get lucky and the stuff is like legit. And sometimes it's like, I asked ChatGPT for something. I was like, yo, ChatGPT, can you hook me up with X, Y, and Z? The stuff I got was not what it was. But I was like, oh, Lord. We're still working on AI. All right, so the first thing ChatGPT gave me was the house settlement for the house settlement era begins in July 1st, guys. So the NCAA's multi-billion-dollar house settlement officially takes effect July 1st, allowing Division I athletic programs to compensate athletes up to $20.5 million annually per school. While most Power 5 schools opted in, Ivy League, military academies, and few smaller institutions have declined for now, raised serious concerns about future recruiting competitiveness and the Title IX. Is that Title IX equity? So, if you didn't know and you were not around, Phil was so real. What up with you? If you were not around and you weren't paying attention, you was consuming too much Shedeur footage and not really paying attention to what's happening in college football since the Louis boys left. Yes, the house had a settlement. We were kind of whispering about it, not necessarily whispering, because we loud here at TLP Sports Club, okay? We've been screaming this thing that the 20.5, like colleges were going to get $20.5 million, and it was going to be like a salary cap that we talked about. And now the salary cap is a reality that schools now have to adhere to $20.5 million, or let's just say $20 million. That is your cap. That is what you can spend. Schools are deciding to either put all of that on football or they're going to split it somehow, some way they're going to do it. Now, impact highlight. This is an impact highlight that ChatGPT gave. I have my own impact highlight because I followed the story, so I didn't really need ChatGPT for this, but let's just go ahead. That's my assistant. She did her best, okay? Calm down out there. Calm down. My assistant, okay? I only pay her a short fee, which is $0, okay? Calm down. University of Houston plans to allocate nearly 70% of its first-year revenue share to football, committing the full $20.5 million cap toward football and men's basketball. Okay, so Colorado pretty much said the same thing. A lot of schools are going to take that chunk of money and say, you know what? I need these kids to play well because football brings in the most money. Unless you're like one of these schools that, you know what I'm saying, every year you're kind of like, you're pretty much in the Final Four or you're in the playoffs in basketball, then you want to make sure that you kind of allocate some money there. But basketball, if you're a basketball school, you handle most of this stuff, okay? You're taking a lot of this money. Your money is pretty much handled if you're a basketball school. And I got some business right here. Whenever I see that color on my screen, I got to handle that business. My guy, Phil So Real's in the building. Take this gallon of gas and be blessed. Roll, Tide, roll, blitz, Bama, blitz, of course. My guy, Phil. He's a Bama fan. You know, them Bamas over there in wherever they are. About it. Okay. All right, man. Oh, Bandwagon Browns is back in the building. He said it's about time you went live. Man, I gotta go live with something to talk about, man. I'm telling you, even though I'm one of the best blabbers and like I can come on here and try to fake it till I make it, if I ain't really got something to talk about and I feel like what I got to talk about ain't gonna get a lot of attention, I tend to just say, you know what? I'm not gonna go live. So maybe that's not a good thing. If you're trying to build a channel, a football channel where everybody can come, maybe I should have a regular time where I just pick a topic. I'm like, you know what? Today we're talking about Jake Ratcliffe, and Ratcliffe is I'll get into Ratcliffe, you know, and we just talk about basic football stuff, views or no views. Come up with a football topic. Come on here, we talk about it. It ain't gotta be about Coach Prime. Come on here, we talk about it. 2 views or no views, put it out there. It is what it is. Maybe the people can just see my face a lot more often. Maybe I'll just have to do that. But I promise you, I'm telling you the truth. The reason why I don't really go live is because I feel like I don't have a strong topic or much information to give. I ain't going to come and sit in front of you and just be like, well, you know, this and that. That's just the reason why, okay? Oh, yo, Bandwagon Buff said YouTube ain't the same when you don't make content, but it's all good. We still support you. Oh, man. What? See? When you get comments like this, man, I'm telling you, man, I want to jump up and just start making any kind of video. It don't even matter what it is, yo, but I do appreciate you, man. Like, salute. All right, so Houston, Colorado, and et al. If you're in college and you use that ETAL, you feel me? Whoever used the ETAL, put it in the chat. Let me know if you use the ETAL. So Houston, Colorado, et al. Are going to dedicate a bunch, 70% or more, to their football program because football is actually, you know, the number one money maker for most programs, most universities. So you put that in there, and then whatever the revenue return from the football program, then you can kind of allocate some of that, give some to the track team, the ski team, baseball, basketball, you feel me, like swim team and all that other stuff that goes on at university. So number one on our list is the house settlement begins July 1st. I hope that helps somebody out there. And if it helps you, smash the like button and be like, oh, Harry B, every time you come on this here, YouTube, you're always giving me good information. You ain't just here to just talk. You're giving me information that I can hold on to. You feel me? So boom, that's number one. Second thing, major conference realignment. The Pac-12 is coming back, according to my chat GPT assistants. The Pac-12 has secured its 8th football member with the addition of Texas State beginning July 1st, 2026. My lips almost got in the way there. This brings the football lineup to a full roster of 8 and solidifies the conference's rebirth after significant attrition. Okay. Don't lie. Don't Google. What the heck does attrition mean? Oh my gosh. Phil So Real said the house settlement is really going to change how the portal is used. That is true, because now, you see what I'm saying? You got a specific amount of money that you can allocate. You feel me? There's a list. You now have a salary cap. I don't know if y'all remember, but the graphic, I don't know. Do I have the graphic still? The graphic that I shared with y'all last season where let me see. Is this it? All right, this right here. Hi guys, I'm right here. I wasn't prepared to share this graphic, so I kind of have to put it on my face, but just watch. So if you're listening, just listen. If you're watching, my face is covered. So look at this right here. Notre Dame, how many 5 stars they had. Then you got Penn State, got 3 5 stars. You have Ohio State with 13 5 stars, and you had Texas with 7 5 stars, right? But I believe it was told that that Ohio State emptied the clip, because they spent like I don't remember the amount. It was 30 something or 40 something $million for their roster. So I believe they are known now as the first portal champions, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if that's the term that they're using, because they pretty much went and got and just loaded up. They used every booster they had and just told them, hey, look, we want to bring Ohio State football back. We want to let people know who we are, and they just empty the clip. So now in this year, a lot of schools are actually following suit. They're trying to do the same thing. But with the house settlement, you're capped down. Now you can't go out and use, you know what I'm saying? I think it was either $20 million, if I'm not mistaken. I think they used $20 million, but a lot of programs were not doing that. They weren't using the entire amount. So anyway, if you got the money, you're going to use it. If you don't, then you pretty much don't. You're not going to be able to compete. You got to be able to, you got to spend money to compete in this here college football thing. If you ain't got the money, if you're not spending the money, I'm sorry to tell you. All right, Phil, what you got for now for the Pac-12? Pac-12 is going to be fun to watch, but none of those teams will be able to compete for a title. Oh, Phil. I mean, think about it. Does the Big 12 have any teams that can compete for a title? If we go down the list, does the ACC have any teams that can really compete for a title? Isn't it like pretty much every year going to be a 2-conference title run? I don't know that we got, if you're talking about the majors, right? If you're talking about the majors, we're going to go back to, don't know how much money the Pac-12 is getting. I don't have the actual numbers, but when the Pac-12 was around and Colorado and USC and all of them were in there, they were considered a power conference. So I believe there's still going to be a power conference, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going back to Power 5. So for a couple of years now, we're Power 4. But if the Pac-12 is going to have the money and the TV deals that is necessary and the money that's necessary to be called power, then I guess we're going to go back to Power 5. So when Colorado first came, or when Shedeur Sanders first arrived and I came onto the scene and started learning about how all of this stuff works, this is how I met my guy Phil, DC, tennis, come on, a Wild Dog, and all of y'all. I started doing the research, and then that's when we all learn about the different powers and stuff like that. And basically, to be a power, you need money. It's all about money. So hopefully the Pac-12 will have the money to be able to still compete as a power conference, hence going back to the term Power 5. But right now we're Power 4. So we'll see. I believe they're going to be the conference is not going to come back and compete for 2025. They'll probably start competing for some stuff in 2026. All right. Come on, Big 12 is trash, Phil. The way Tutelatech is paying players, they shouldn't, but it's Tutelatech at the end of the day. Tutelatech. Is that a pun, or am I not reading this right? I don't know if it's a college football pun. Again, you probably got me because it's probably some kind of inside joke. Let me know if it's an inside joke or am I reading that right. So Dupree Hundo say, yes, you ever heard of Clemson? Oh, Texas Tech tortillas. Oh, the tortillas that they were throwing. Okay. The tortilla that they were throwing on the field, yada yada. Okay. All right. Thank you for the live pun. I just learned something. Hopefully y'all learning it too. Clemson. Where was Clemson in 2024? How far did Clemson go? Clemson disappeared. I mean, yeah, I've heard of Clemson, but yeah, you're right. Okay, so the ACC does have a contender. Yeah. Okay, I'll give that to you. I'll give you that one. All right, so Phil's saying let's put some of this stuff on the screen. I'm sorry, guys. Pac-12 is going to be made up of group of 5 teams, so there will be a Power 5 team. Okay, so there will be a power team. Okay, a power conference. Those teams are trash in the grand scheme. Stop playing. Group of 5 need their own tournament. I mean, I would have to agree with Phil on that one. If you're bringing a bunch of group of 5 teams, then it's like, ooh, look at this. Member for 15 months. That's why I'm telling y'all, I met Phil and them, and like these dudes, like they holding me down. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see these dudes around, like you constantly see them in the chat, I'm saying their names. I ain't just saying their names for nothing. All right. Like Phil's been a member of the channel, like a paying member. You feel me? Like monthly bill. Like, hey, I'm giving you money. Like, tell me you're committed without telling me you're committed. Type of, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. I ain't talking about just somebody who just watches the videos and run. Nah, like he's like, yo. And then got another one right there, my guy Peter Investor. You know what I'm saying? Like these people are like, yo, Harry B, we locked in with you. You go live, we on you. We here. You feel me? Clemson is always a factor in the ACC. All right, that's true. I did forget about Clemson. I'm sorry. It was live. I'm live right now. So I'm thinking, who in the ACC really about that life? Yes, Clemson is. They're probably going to be the most recentest winning ACC team that probably have a title. So yes, you got to include the ACC. I don't know about a Big 12 title contender-ish yet. You know what I'm saying? Arizona State was an anomaly. We're not going to – if you're an Arizona State fan and you want to flex, you can. You are allowed to flex because you took Texas. You know what I'm saying? You took them to task. But can we say you got to do it at least 2 more times? Maybe 1 more time, then we'll back off on the Cinderella story. And then if you do it 3 times, then we're like, oh, okay, you're legit. Consistency matters in this sports talk arena. You feel me? The more you do it 1 time and we crown you. You do it 2 times and we like, oh, okay. Now you do it 3 times and you almost become a household installment. You feel me? And it's the household installment part is important because now we get to keep talking about you as somebody to deal with. 2 times you're like, maybe they might do it again. You never know. But yeah, Arizona State Sun Devils, they got 2 years. If they don't make it this year, if they don't make it to the playoff this year, what are we going to say? You know exactly what we're going to say. We're going to say that was a Cinderella. It was an anomaly. They're not about that life. They're going to regress. My thing is, I feel like they're going to regress. Yes, you had Scatterboo, who was like your general. Did you get another Scatterboo to give you the type of season that they had? Maybe you need a couple of players to perform like Scatterboo and you can get back to that place. And is Kenny Dillingham really about that coaching life like people want to crown him? They're like, oh, yes, they're going to repeat what they did. Even though everybody was sleeping on them in 2024 and ranked them at the bottom because when they play Colorado spanked that butt like easy. You feel me? So is Kenny Dillingham about that life? Can he coach the guys that are left? Can he coach them up to get them to where they need to be at? Don't know. If he does that, now he starts getting the what I call the residual love. That's the good term. I'm glad that my brain is well enough to come up with that term. He now gets the residual love. That guess who gets that? Matt Rule with Nebraska. And what is the love and how did they give it to him? Should I say pause on that? No, that's not a pause. I think it is. Some of y'all gonna say it's a pause, but it's not a pause, okay? How do they give it to him? He gets residual love like he's a program builder because he's turned some really bad programs into a winning program. So he left college football, came back, but people still look at him as a program builder. So they're thinking that what he's doing with Nebraska is going to turn into, hopefully soon enough, like a Clemson. You know what I'm saying? Like a contender in the Big Ten. So we'll see. But if Kenan Dillingham is that guy, then the Big 12 has a shiny beacon or has a shiny light in the Sun Devils. Hopefully we have that, because I don't know if Coach Prime is the guy. Can we give it to Coach Prime? Can we really crown Coach Prime as the savior of the Big 12, or he's going to have Colorado playing at the level? Because the way that, again, when we talk about how wide open the Big 12 is, so many teams played way better than people were giving them credit for. BYU, you had BYU, you had Arizona State. Other teams were playing, Colorado, obviously, because Colorado was projected to win 4 games. So 4.5 games. So a lot of teams didn't really play to where people thought that they would play. So now it's like, okay, who is that team? What is that program that you feel like is gearing up to now carry the Big 12 on his back, and people can talk about them like Clemson in the ACC? You feel me? Like we need a firebrand. We need a program that is really going to be like, okay, anytime any team comes anytime we put this team in the playoffs, it ain't going to be a blowout. It ain't going to be like a unevenly matched game like a TCU versus Georgia. It's going to be a contender like Arizona and Texas. And I dare you to use Texas was just in the Big 12 argument. No, Texas, everybody's ranking them very high in the preseason polls. Okay, so there ain't going to be no situation. You can't use that argument. Texas is, Texas is a viable, is I would say is a contender. They're no longer Big 12. You gotta, they're Southeastern. You gotta keep them there, okay? They're Southeastern. All right, what else? What you got for me in the chat? What's going on? BYU needs a new QB. The old one hit the portal. Okay, hold on. So since you bring it up, bandwagon Browns, since you bring it up, let me just get into that before I go to my next my next point. So, Jay Ratcliffe, I think I'm pronouncing his last name right. He's going to Notre Dame. He jumped into the portal, go to Notre Dame. And if you don't know the backstory, there were some allegations of sexual misconduct with him and some young lady, some young girl. Okay, she was Chinese, some young girl. She wasn't Chinese. If you don't know my humor by now, then I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, there was some allegations. I'm starting with the word allegations or alleged sexual misconduct with the school. And BYU's a Mormon school, and you ain't supposed to be doing that with no girl. You ain't supposed to be rocking with no girl like that. You feel me? Like, so with that I guess the reason why he wasn't going to really pan out is because of their code of conduct. So their code of conduct, he stepped outside of their code of conduct, which then deemed him, they were done with him. If you break the code of conduct, I like the fact that they have the code and they're going to enforce the code. Because if you have a code and you don't enforce it, you're just going to make excuses because the player's a good player and, he did a lot of good things for you, then fine. But I like the fact that, if you set codes, like some of y'all parents, if you say, no, we can't do this, and if they do it, then you have to enforce it. Yeah, so now he's going to Notre Dame. Don't know if he's going to start or not. There's some options there. But now, so BYU has 3 options, and we'll see who becomes their starter. This is the thing about that. So keep in mind, BYU is Big 12, right? And they were a problem for a lot of the teams, especially Colorado. If you don't remember, I don't want to try to remind you, we only have 8 more Saturdays before we start playing football again. But yeah, so BYU now has synergy problems. They had a chat, they had something going on, and I was in the chat, and I was like, okay, what about synergy? They have a synergy problem because the new quarterback has to now lock in with the players like Jake. Jake was the way that he was locked in. So now they have that issue going for them. So if you are one of these competing teams, how do you evaluate them? You're like, all right, so they don't have their quarterback no more. Will they lose a few more games? What does that mean for their schedule? So some teams could be like, yeah, we know. All right, cool. They don't have their guy no more. We'll see what happens. And does he play in Notre Dame? Does he start? Him going over there, was there a conversation prior? Did somebody invite him? Or was it, that's where I want to go? And here's another thing. He gets there. Does he become a Will Howard for Ohio State? Y'all remember the Will Howard story? I mean, I'm getting so good at this thing now. I told y'all I was going to get better. This is year 3, right? Or year 4? How long we been here? Since Coach Prime. Start clocking me from Coach Prime. So now I'm like, you see how I'm seamlessly going through the stories? You see this? You see this happen? You see how God works? Ain't he good? Won't he do it? Anyway, so the Will Howard story started where? Come on, y'all, help me out. Then they started at K-State. AJ Jefferson or Johnson or whatever his name is. There's still a little bit of kinks I got to work out. Okay? So anyways, AJ, their quarterback, was in a quarterback competition with Will Howard, who won the Natty, right? And AJ won that battle. So he's still at K-State. You feel me? So Will Howard goes over to Ohio State, wins the daggone Natty. Look at that. You see how this thing works? So now, if you take this same story, you take Jake Ratcliffe and you put him at Notre Dame, he goes over there, and let's say he competes for a title. Is there a narrative going there? Here's what I would say. You look at it and when you extrapolate and say, well, are the quarterbacks in the Big 12, are they that good, or does the big programs just need a serviceable quarterback? Those are questions that you should ask. Because if you are a big program, you just need a serviceable quarterback, a good quarterback. You don't necessarily have to have a superstar as a quarterback. If you're a good program, you have a good O-line, you have a good defensive line, you got a good, by the way, P. Diddy was found now guilty. I don't know what I started thinking when this is what got in my mind. I was about to say D-line, and I used defensive line because I was thinking somebody's going to say no Diddy. So, and then I thought about P. Diddy. And by the way, I was going to go live, but I was in Jersey at the time when we got the news, and I said, nah, I'm not going live. I just decided not to go live. But he beat the RICO charge. And I was thinking, like, how in the world, with a 98 point something or 97 point something percentage of winning, and if you are the feds, you do not bring a RICO charge that you don't have the evidence to win. Like, you have that high, almost 100% chance to win. And people say, look, if the feds are after you, it's a lock. You're done. You're good and done. right? Not too many people going to beat a RICO charge. And plus, it was a RICO case with just him. How often do you have a RICO, you know what I'm saying? How often do you have a RICO case with one person and they beat it? That's crazy. The lesser charge will probably, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't know what happened there. I'm like, was that the feds? What? How you bring a RICO charge and you end up talking about oil and, like, you know, baby oil and all that stuff, and that's all we hear about. We never really get to the RICO part. And then he beats it. That's weird. Anyways, let's move on from that. So anyways, so does Jay go to Notre Dame, does well, and then you're going to come up with your different narratives. What are the narratives you come up with? We're going to get to Coach Prime soon, I promise you. We're going to get to Shedeur and Coach Prime. I said allegedly. Phil said, if Texas and Oklahoma were still in the conference, none of these schools would have a chance. I don't know, man. I don't see. That's the thing. Like, you don't know. You really don't know, because if you say that's the case, then why did Arizona State take them to task? Because we have a live example. We have Arizona State playing Texas in the playoff, and Arizona State took them all the way. I think it was overtime. So if that is the case, then I call cap. And not graduation, not cap and gown graduation, but I call cap, because they did have a chance. They really did have a chance. See, you won't be ready for a natty for at least 5 years. Well, Coach Prime beat her in 5 years. They won't be ready for a natty in 5 years. Word on the street, we're not to the Colorado thing yet, but word on the street, they got a pretty good. I've been keeping track afar. When my articles that I depend on come out, I'm keeping track. I don't know the players. I'm trying to learn the players, but I'm keeping track. And eventually I'm going to start rolling out the content real soon. So y'all got to hold on for that. Oklahoma has 17 Big 12 championships. Harry, stop it. One game doesn't equal the season. Look at CU versus TCU and CU versus WSU that same year. No, but that's the thing. They only have to play one game. So I mean, I don't know what you mean. They only have to play each other once. Colorado did not play any of these teams twice. You only play once. So what do you mean? That's exactly what you're talking about. You're saying, like, it's one game. You only play one game per season. Then you get to the playoffs, or you get to the, you know, you get to the playoff, you get to the championship game. But you only play once. So I don't know. And Peter Investor said the goal is to win a bowl game. So think about it. You only play once. And they played them once. And they almost beat them. So that was the chance. Let's go to number 3. Let's try to finish this list. All right. So right now I'm just going over some of the highlights of college football. What's happening in the offseason. The Pac-12 is gearing up to come back. Coaches and transfer portal mania, Kentucky, Louisville, recruiter flip. I don't know that this was a major story. Veteran recruiter Vance Moreau re-signed at Kentucky and took a similar role at rival Louisville, bringing over years of recruiting relationships and disrupting in-state dynamics. Y'all, those who know, right? Do y'all like Kentucky basketball? Yes, you know what I'm saying. But Louisville football, yes. But Kentucky football. Hopefully, they're talking about football. Did I make sure? Yeah, college football. Yeah. So I'm not really sure if that's maybe it is. Maybe according to my assistant, is like, yo. Yeah, me and my wife, we were arguing about Chat GPT My chat GPT is a girl, hers a guy. I said, nah, you can't do that. Your assistant cannot be a guy. Plus, chat GPT is a girl. Do y'all agree with me? I don't want to bring y'all into my little personal, household mess, but do y'all agree with me? I want y'all to agree. I want y'all to agree with me that chat GPT is a girl. Right? Her chat GPT is not going to be no guy. Okay, you ain't going to have no guy as your assistant. He's too close. ChatGPT is a girl, okay? If you're not gonna be having no guy assistant, we ain't gonna have that in this house. I make the rules in my house. You're not gonna have no guy as an assistant. She want to argue with me. We on a trip. We got to have those conversations. You're in the car for a long period of time, and you're gonna have to have conversations. So one of the conversations that came. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. One of the conversations that came up was Chat GPT, like, her Chat GPT is a guy. I was like, no, what? Heck no. My Chat GPT is a Brazilian woman that wears yoga that wears yoga pants. Yo. Oh my gosh. So you just went for it all, huh? Yo, your imagination, yo. I can't, yo. Yeah. See, Peter agrees with me. Your chat GPT can't be a guy. You can't have no guy assistant. No, I'm sorry. No. Not in this house. As for me and my house, ain't gonna be no yoga pants and ain't gonna be no guy assistants, okay? Oh man. Okay, so let's keep going. Number 4. Hold on, did I do number 3? All right, so coaching and transfer portal mania. We got Kentucky, the North Carolina overhaul under Bill Belichick. Belichick now the Tar Heels coach has aggressively reloaded via transfer portal, securing standout wide receiver Adrian Wilson from Colorado. Adrian Wilson from Colorado? Why I don't remember him? QB Gio Lopez, another key talent as UNC aims to reshape its roster immediately. I feel like we just talked about Adrian Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. Just one of those names that kind of escapes you. All right, is that a top story? Y'all let me know. Number 4, offensive powerhouse poised for 2025. Analysts are spotlighting elite scoring offenses prime for excitement this fall. Colorado's offense. Am I reading this right? I promise you, I did not tell ChatGPT. I can tell you the prompt. Let me go through the prompt. I did not tell ChatGPT to put Colorado in there. Say Colorado is the top. Give me the latest top stories in college football in 2025 offseason. That is the only prompt. Okay? So I don't want you to start accusing me and say, nah, you put Colorado, you told her. I don't even know the race of my chat GPT. I know Phil's is Brazilian. What is it about Brazilian women that you like so much, Phil? What's going on with that? You're gonna have to excuse me for 1 second. Y'all still here? I don't know what just happened. Y'all can see me. Y'all still here? Because something weird just happened. Somebody type a yes and let me know y'all still here. Because I don't know if I'm still here and y'all are here. Y'all can. What just happened to my screen? Okay. So I'm back. Okay, so bandwagon Brown says yes, we good. Okay, all right. So I'm still here. Let me share my screen again. I don't know what happened. You press certain buttons and then the thing kicks you off. So here we are. All right. So we did the Kentucky thing, North Carolina off. The powerhouse is poised for 2025. Okay. So like I told y'all, this is not something I told ChatGPT. Analysts are spotlighting elite scoring offenses primed for excitement this fall. Colorado's offense features Michigan, LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Texas, Miami, Texas Tech, and others expected to light up scoreboards next season. Colorado, okay. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so we do know about Colorado's offense and who stayed over there. We do know the wide receivers and whatnot. Now we're still kind of trying to. We're hoping that the quarterback play translates. You feel me? It translates from Juju or Caden Salter. So, but we do definitely understand that we do have wide receivers now. I believe we brought in a couple of tight ends that may fill in that gap. The running back situation is what there's still a little bit of a question mark, but hopefully Colorado's able to hold its own on that. But yeah, for Colorado to be up in there, okay, that's what's up. All right, so number 5 is transfer portal and recruiting momentum. The top transfer portal classes landing 13 additions with wide receiver KC Concepcion, cornerback Julian Humphrey, and tight end Amari Niblick expected to make a big impact. Georgia continues to bolster its 2026 recruiting via June commitments and seeks more high-tier prospects during the July window ahead of their tough 2025 schedule. Oh, hold up. I didn't even check the email to make sure that nobody was trying to get on here. My bad. Let me just have it up just in case. All right, guys, I'm going to introduce you again, let you know that if you are trying to get onto the show, join me, join TLP Live at gmail.com. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. That is how you get onto the show. All right, so just write down the email, join TLP Live at gmail.com. Let me get that off the screen so that we can continue the show. We get into Coach Prime real soon. Just hold on, guys. We're almost there. I got to get this college football thing cracking again. That's what this channel is for. Okay? Not just for Coach Prime and for Shedeur, even though that's where I get a lot of my people from. All right, so Georgia continues to bolster its 2026 recruiting via June commitments and seeks more higher-tier prospects during the July window ahead of their tough 2025 schedule. All right? And at this point, let me just let you know that behind the scenes, me and my guys are working hard to bring you our top 25, the TLP Sports Club top 25 rankings. I believe is going to be a good list because we're starting to get to know this thing. Well, I'm starting to get to know this thing, and then I got some guys that have been knowing this thing for a very long time, helping me out behind the scenes. So the top 25 is coming from TLP Sports Club. Look out for that. I will be dropping some content for the members of this channel, and I'm going to release it to you once the members have already enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? They're bashed in their membership and they really swim in that content. I'm trying to, encourage you to become a member there if you're in peep game. All right, so number 6 is going to be Sleeper Watch and Individual Talent. ESPN released a list of sleepers for every top 25 team, highlighting players like Penn State, Nick Dawkins, sorry. You remember Dawkins? What was the show? Dawkins something. It was in North Carolina. It was filming Dawkins Creek or Dawson's Creek? Whatever. Clemson wide receiver Tyler Brown. Don't we have a Tyler Brown at Colorado? And Texas tight end Jack Andres, who can emerge as key contributors. All right. Meanwhile, PFF's 2025 college 50 ranks Ohio State. Hold on, let me read that again. Meanwhile, PFF's 2025 college 50 ranks Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs at top elite returning talents. Jeremiah Smith is returning? I did not know that. That's what when I see some of these, I'll be like, hold up. Come on, assistant. I think my ChatGPT has to be an African girl. It can't be no Brazilian. Like, what am I doing with a Brazilian? It got to be an African girl. Come on now. Got time to be playing no Brazilian. Stop playing with me, Phil. All right. All right. So let's recap what I just told you guys. We just went over the top highlighters for college football. We had the House settlement. The Pac-12 adds Texas State. They're coming back in 2026. Belichick at UNC and Moreau switches. Aggies moves. GA Aggies moves. LSU, Clemson, Texas Tech, Miami, and more. And then the PFF scores. All right, so that is what I have for you for college football overall. Now, let's turn our attention, guys, to now. I want to talk about college football. I want to talk about Colorado and Deion Sanders a little bit about his health and what's going on. I mean, a lot of y'all, if you follow the Colorado program, you pretty much should kind of know what's happening with Coach Prime and his health. So let's go over that a little bit so I can just give you a short update. Colorado keep close eye on Deion Sanders. Coach and personal friends sends him a tear-jerking message. I'm not too familiar with this marca.com. Their setup is a little bit, it's a little weird, but so let's see. Pollock recently posted a throwback photo of himself and Coach Prime with a touching caption, throwing it back to one of those moments that helped shape the journey, a reminder to stay focused, stay driven, and never stop learning from the best. The message underscored the value of their long-standing relationship formed through the years of collaboration and growth. All right. The Deion Sanders family. The Sanders family recognized the gesture with Deion Sanders Jr. Replying with three fire emojis, simple but meaningful. It's a sign of just how much Coach Prime's inner circle respects the people who have stood by him through challenges and triumphs alike. All right, so so basically, for those of you who are not aware, Coach Prime has been having Coach Prime has been dealing with some health issues with Colorado, being at Colorado. Some are concerned that his tenure at Colorado may not be that long because of continuing health issues. Coach Prime had some amputation to his toe. He had some toes amputated, and every now and then there's some blood clot issues that they have to deal with, and so those continuing health issues that he has sometimes keeps him away. There was some word that came out that he lost like 12 pounds, or maybe 12 to 15 pounds or whatnot, and he's been at home trying to nurse himself back to good health so that he can take on the rigorous happenings of college football coaching. You have to deal with a lot when it comes to college football. So we're wishing Coach Prime and his health. We're wishing him well. I hope that, let me see if I have another one here. Let me see if I get more from that. Tyler Brown isn't beating out any of those new linemen. Man, the Tyler Brown story with Colorado is one that just baffles me. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Brown was one of those guys that when he was in, like, oh, he's strong, he can play the game, he understands the game very well, and then all of a sudden something happened behind the scenes. That's something we were not privy to. Something happened, and then it was like, Tyler Brown was no longer the way they were talking about him now became like, yeah, he trash. And that really threw me for a loop because I'm like, what? Because we all remember when Tyler Brown had to sit out that 2023 season because of transfer issues and whatnot. He did the appeal. He was one of those guys that we were talking about. And then all of a sudden, Tyler Brown is like, No Tyler Brown? What? Tyler Brown trash? Wait, what's happening? Oh man, yeah, he's one of those stories that just throws me for a loop, and I'm trying my best to try to figure out if Tyler Brown, if what we were saying earlier about Tyler Brown was really legit. Maybe it wasn't. All right, so bandwagon Browns, what you saying? Let me put this on the screen. I've been watching Reach the people in well-off media in the pregame show, and his Colorado team looking nice. Reach the people has been doing some player interviews too with new players. Okay. Yeah, Reach the People does those interviews. I like those. All right, so yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I believe like some people, okay, so this is what I've been waiting to happen for a long time. Like where Coach Prime and his team are not in the media every single week, every single day, where real football stuff happens and the media and others actually give the respect that is necessary for the players that are in the program. Now, the blow up over Shedeur and the Louis boys and all of that, yeah, you need that. You need that to get some of those players in the media. Because I will ask you a question. Jimmy Horn, LeJounte, all of those people that went besides Travis and Shedeur. And unfortunately, Shedeur almost didn't go. That's a whole 10,000 shows that we've already had, okay? But yeah, besides those people who we just knew were going to go, without the media blow up, without the shine, without everything that transpired with Colorado, don't laugh. This guy skis laughing, don't laugh. Okay, so without the media and the attention, do you hear about a Jimmy Horn? Or will he be caught up in statistical nightmare like a bunch of players where I guarantee you, if I was to do a show and show you some of the numbers that some of these guys had, some of the people that you don't even hear about, the numbers that they put up last year, those were like numbers that Jimmy Horn did not put up. LeJounte Wester didn't put up. But I believe, and I've told y'all here multiple times on TRP Sports Club, that exposure is necessary. Todd Smith is in the building. Dallas is in the building, everybody says. Salute to my guy, Todd Smith. What up with you, man? Hope all is well. But yeah, man, look. And happy holidays, Todd Smith. But without all of the... Phil got something for Tyler Brown. I don't even want to know if I want to read this. Give me a second, Phil. I'm going to get to it, I promise. Yeah, but without the exposure, do you get those extra guys in there? Do you get those guys, in the draft? Or, do you get them in the NFL? I don't think so. All right, let's see. Tyler Brown needs to start his youth. I knew it. I knew it, man. I knew it. I knew it. It was coming from Phil, and it said Tyler Brown, and it was coming from Phil. I knew that this was not going to end well, but I got to do it. Tyler Brown needs to start his youth ministry. He's not a legit offensive lineman in the P4. I can't frown on youth ministry, right? Because obviously I'm a Christian man, and this is my warehouse. This is where I lean in. So yeah, but a man has a dream to go to the NFL. Why am I talking youth ministry? Stop playing with me, Phil. Leave the guy alone, okay? Give him a break. Send positivity. Maybe it'll help him. But stop talking to leave Tyler. Leave TB alone. Oh man, he can play fullback on goal line. Who? Tyler Brown? And here comes DC. Don't even skip a step. Here comes DC at Phil. He is on a PS4. Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh, yo. Hey, man, look. I told y'all that Shiloh was going to make an NFL team, and y'all didn't believe me. Y'all kept pushing back until he's now on an NFL team, and hopefully he makes the team, right? But I kept telling y'all, now I can't. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know if Tyler Brown. I don't know Tyler Brown, like, if he's gonna be able to get that same opportunity. But I feel like, let me just leave this thing alone because I don't know where to go with this. I don't know what to go with Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown, I don't know, man. My guy Tyler Brown, if you're watching, my guy, I'm wishing you the best. But I don't know what happened. Oh man. Excited to see what these new offensive linemen compete us. Hold on. Excited to see. Let's put it up. Excited to see what these new offensive line competition. Okay, see you like 20 deep, no excuses this year. Okay. Tyler Brown playing right tackle hurt his fan stock. That's what I'm thinking. I'm telling y'all, something transpired. Because they were lacking at certain positions, they had to make some adjustments. And yes, we heard a story from Tyler Brown himself. He was like, yo, he gave us that confidence, like, yo, you put me anywhere. Like, he was very astute, right? His acumens were high. So you put him, and he got the strength. So you put him anywhere, and he could play there. That was part his fault. I ain't gonna hold you. That was part his fault. So if you say you put me anywhere and I'll play, and then and you keep getting beat, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go back to the Shiloh prayer. if you pray like Shiloh on the field, it's an inside joke, and I hope a lot of y'all catch it. But if you're watching and you're not a fan of the Colorado Buffaloes, of the Colorado Browns, I should say, it's an inside joke, okay? The 2024 season, the Shiloh prayer. Go look it up. It was a shame. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Uh-oh, here comes Phil again. Here comes Phil again. Oh, man. I wish the YouTube universe didn't say you had to address super chats. Okay, Shiloh will have more playing time in the NFL this year than Shedeur. Why do you do this to me? Okay, all the machete praying aunties, y'all ignore that part, okay? If you are a machete auntie, ignore that. Don't throw your Bible, because you know what happened when Moses threw the 10 Commandments. I don't want no fire and brimstone, okay? Don't throw your Bible. Just hold your machete and just wave it. Be like, look, Phil, don't bring that nonsense over here, okay? Okay. All right, so let's see. Ailing Deion Sanders expected to return to work soon. Colorado coach Deion Sanders, who has been suffering from an undisclosed medical condition, is expected to be back on the job soon. That's according to the former NFL cornerback Adam Pac-Man Jones. I'm sorry, this is in small caps. Let me make myself smaller. Let me decrease so that y'all can increase. I think this is it. Okay, right there. I appreciate the super chat, Phil, even though I know you're using it to troll me, but it's all good. Oh, Lord. What am I going to do? I'm trying to run a channel here. Okay. All right. Deion Sanders, okay, so according to Pac-Man Jones, Deion's doing good. Jones said, I think he got another week at home before they get started. He'll be there. He'll be ready to go. Thanks to everybody that has been praying and sending good thoughts and prayers his way. Jones added, Sanders 57 posted a video to his Instagram account 2 days ago following a visit to his estate by Lil Wayne. Sanders is seen walking a bit gently with the rapper. Neither Sanders nor Colorado officials have given specifics about the nature of the health issue that coach is facing. He's been away from Boulder, missing annual youth camps he normally would have attended. He is scheduled to attend a Big 12 preseason media event on Wednesday in Frisco, Texas. Sanders addressed his health in a social media post on June 11th. I can assure you that everything is okay and will continue to do so, and will continue to be so, he posted on X. I'm excited to get back to Colorado to be at home with my staff, team, and associated and all associated with to our program. When we arrive back to Boulder, you will be updated on everything. A member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Sanders required multiple surgeries for persistent blood clots in recent years. He had 2 toes amputated in 2021 to address clotting issues, but it's unclear whether that is related to his current health status. The Buffaloes opened the season at home on August 29th. The Buffaloes opened the season at home on August 29th against Georgia Tech. A game which I believe will be one of the toughest games for Colorado to test Colorado. All right. So that is the news on Coach Prime and what's happening with him and the Buffs. So prayers up, as is customary to do on this channel. I like to do that. Just pray a little bit, guys. Let's send it up, because I do not personally believe in thoughts and prayers. I don't know where y'all Americans get that from. It don't make no sense to me. It's not something that God recognizes as a thing. I think y'all are lazy Americans. Yes, I am calling y'all lazy Americans, where y'all don't like to actually do things you say you want to do, where you send thoughts and prayers. Like, you are in my thoughts and prayers. But yeah, that's weird. I'm just going to say it's weird. It's not a thing. If you're out there, if you're on these interwebs, and you think that thoughts and prayers is a thing, it's not a thing. It ain't no Eastern religion sending good vibes and it's going to work. That's not a thing. So let's pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I pray that you reach Coach Prime where he is at, his family, his health. Father God, bless the children that that are under his tutelage. Bless him, his health, Father God. He needs you. You know the mission that you have. You've sent him on. You know the mission that you have given him. That mission cannot be complete without good health. That mission can't be complete without him being healthy. So, Lord, I pray that your strength and your grace and your mercy be with Coach Prime. And I pray that his family as well, so that he's not stressed thinking about what is ahead, but he will be well enough mentally and physically to be able to continue his mission. Lord, I pray this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Hold up now, Liberian girl. Stop playing with me, DC. Y'all Americans are lazy, okay? Y'all sit back and be like, oh, thoughts and prayers. Y'all better stop praying and stop playing, okay? Shoot. Keeps trying to send thoughts and prayers. That don't work. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. Because you remember that demon that says, Jesus I know, Moses and those, ETAL. You remember at all? Y'all remember that word earlier? Jesus I know, and these people I know, but what is thoughts and prayers? What is this? What are you doing? What is that? Oh, Lord, when you get to the pearly gates, talking about, yeah, Lord, when I was down there, I sent a bunch of thoughts and prayers. And then they're going to ask you, like, what was that? What was that? What was thoughts and prayers? Good vibes. Hope they're okay, but not actually praying. Stop playing, Americans. Y'all are too lazy. Y'all need to go on some missions. Anyways, let's leave that alone. All right. So that's the information on Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. Now let's turn our attentions, guys, and finish the show off with some news about the Colorado Browns, the Cleveland Browns, Colorado Browns. It's the same thing, okay? Cleveland Browns. What's happening with Shedeur? You ain't seeing much video. I posted a video where Shedeur is, throwing the ball around in Miami. He's doing a lot. And I'm not sure if I told you guys, but we are actually at 13. We are at 13. We are actually at 18,000 subscribers. Yo, we are at 18,000 subs. That is a major thing for the channel. And I just wanted to let you guys know that we hit 18,000 subs. God is good. You know what I'm saying? We're getting there. We are, we're doing pretty well on YouTube. We could do a lot better, but that's where we are. I can't help where we are, but that's exactly where we are. So I just want to thank God that we finally hit the that number there on your screen right here. Got a lot of videos up. We got 18,000 plus subscribers, and I just want to say thank God for that. We work hard. We do what we got to do to try to get to where we want to get to. And I want to thank you to all of the new subscribers, those who were not aware of the channel, those who were not aware of who's running this channel. I post a lot of shorts. You're watching the shorts. I do appreciate you. The shorts are getting a lot of attention. So when I'm not able to come on here, I post in the community. Let me just put that back on the screen so you can understand how the channel is ran. All right. So you can understand like what goes on with the channel. So because I'm a very busy man and I'm trying to make sure that this YouTube thing is legit. If I am not on posting, I'm not live or I'm not posting the actual video, I will post the shorts. You will see all of these shorts right here. So like these right here, 34,000 subscribers, 34,000 views, 1,200, 2,400. This one, this latest one is climbing its way up from 430 views. But yeah, so the shorts are doing pretty well. This Travis Hunter one right here, this one got 39,000 views. So yeah, the shorts do pretty well, and they're keeping the channel going. Thank you, DC. I appreciate that. Yes, man, 18,000 sub. We are on our way to 20,000. Taking our time to grow. And finally, if I'm not posting on videos or shorts, then we go here on the community page or where it says post, right over here where my cursor is at. And we are posting these stories, guys. I post every single day. All right. I'm posting these stories. And what does this one say? If he plays corner, they're going to run deep balls at him all day. I was like, oh, Lord, don't say deep balls. By the way, did he beat those charges? So deep balls. Take that. I'm so glad I'm not even on the screen for that one. Lord, I'm behind the scenes. Y'all can't see my face. Take that. Okay. So, what did it say on Yahoo Sports? Travis Kelce may have leaked the game plan for when the Chiefs visit the Jags on Monday Night Football. All right. He says, I'm going to read it one more time. Y'all calm down in the chat. If he plays corner, they're going to run deep balls at him all day. All right, that's what Travis Kelce said on Travis Hunter playing on both sides of the ball. All right, calm down, all you immature kids. All right, so and what did Adam Mustard Tiger say? This is what Adam Mustard Tiger came back with because he covers the Colorado Buffaloes. Let me come back on the screen. Let me come back over here with. All right, so NFL folks still no clue that Travis Hunter's stamina is on a different level than others. Greg Schollers, director of AP Ranch and longtime college track coach. I've coached Olympic level sprinters, quarter milers, and I can honestly say I can put Travis on the track with any of them. All right, so yeah, we who know Travis Hunter, we know what's happening. Throw those deep balls. You'll understand. If you don't know what Coach Prom told you, all right, if you don't understand what he told you, yes, I understand that. Okay, at the end of the day, college football, you got to take less. College football, you can take more reps. In the NFL, you're not going to be able to take as many reps. But stop the craziness with thinking that Travis Hunter cannot play both sides of the ball. Okay, so go ahead, throw it deep. You'll learn. You'll learn real soon. Go ahead, throw it deep. You'll know. Those who know. Throw it deep. He'll be baiting you. He'll be waiting. Listen, if you want to make Travis Hunter the rookie of the year, just do whatever you're planning on doing. Do it. That's all we're going to say to you. We're not going to, no more talking. What did I tell you in that one live about Shedeur? Put the piqué on the feet, my piqué, my guys. That's straight up Liberian, okay? We're not going to talk crazy no more. We don't got time to keep talking and keep reminding y'all, and then we wait until they get on the field, and then y'all start apologizing. Oh, yes, you guys were right. Travis is the man. None of that. Oh, Shedeur is just a, who said it? Reveal yourself, and when I say this, okay? Who said he was an OTA MVP, but he ain't going to see no real playing time? And I'm paraphrasing. Reveal yourself. Who said that Shedeur was an OTA MVP, but he ain't gonna get no playing time? He gonna be round the bench. Reveal yourself right now, okay? And if you know who you think, and if you think you know who that is, put it in the chat. Who do you think said that Shedeur is only an OTA MVP and he ain't going to see no playing time? He going to be right on that bench with the coach. Somebody said he going to be a clipboard gangster. Who said that? Who said he going to be a clipboard gangster? Put that in the chat. You know who you are, and I know who you are too. You guys are terrible. Oh, Lord. Who said Shedeur was going to be a clipboard gangster and that he was an OTA MVP? Oh, my gosh. I can't mess with y'all, man. I need to go live more so I can mess with y'all, so I can have some fun with y'all. All right, so a little bit of news on Travis Hunter. I don't have much. If y'all got some news, drop it in the comments. Drop it in the chat. I want to know what y'all got on that. Okay, so let's turn our attention now to the Browns, guys. All right, let's go. Oh, you gonna expose yourself? They already made an OTA Hall of Fame jacket. It's Browns. Yo, I'm telling you, boy. People gonna be surprised. People gonna be surprised. Navalia Brown, what up? She said, "Hello, everyone. We having fun over here at Navalia." Somebody said, they said Shedeur is he's gonna be an OTA gangster. He's gonna be an OTA Hall of Famer. But he gonna be a clipboard gangster. Okay. What is wrong with y'all? Where's your belief system? All right, so 2022 Browns training camp features 11 free open practices beginning July 30th at the Cross Country Mortgage Campus. Huh? All right, so here's a calendar. This is an update. Let me just introduce it, because in case y'all didn't know, if you're just coming, guys, I'm basically giving you guys an update. So we're gonna end the show with this one. Here is an update for the Browns. If you haven't seen no movement, you don't really follow the NFL or any football at that, and you are a machete auntie, all right? These terms that you're hearing, if you're hearing them out there, this is coming from TLP Sports Club. It's coming from your boy, okay? If you are a machete auntie, a Bible-toting machete auntie, and all you're doing is just waiting for any news on your nephew, Shedeur, Shiloh, or your nephews, Shedeur, Shiloh, Jimmy Horn, Travis Hunter, and Etal, ETAL. All right, this right here is some news on what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. All right, so this is the calendar right here. All right, the first day of camps is going to be the end of this month, July 30th. August 1st, then we got August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and we're going to skip to the 5th, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 14th, 15th. Last day of open practice is going to be August the 16th. All right, guys. I'm just giving you all the updates so you know what's happening, okay? Right here. Screen capture this if you have to. All right. Bandwagon Brown said he's a machete uncle. That's what's up. We got machete aunties and uncles, okay? All right, so screen capture this. Let me put it on the screen right here. I'm going to get you in a second. So go ahead and screen capture this. All right. I put it on the screen for you so you can screen capture it so you can know what's happening. You can know what's happening, okay? Now, so I'm going to go over it again because I know some people are just watching and they are not, I mean, some people are just listening. They are not watching. So it starts on Saturday, July 30th. It's the first day of camps. All right. So if you've seen no action lately, if you've seen nothing, all right, it's going to be July 30th on Saturday. And the 30th on a Wednesday. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad calendar. Dang. Let me see. July 30th. Let's see. Yeah, this is a bad calendar. Don't pay attention to this. I got you, Phil. I'm coming. Yeah, this is a bad calendar. I don't know what this is. Don't pay attention to this calendar. Don't screen capture. I don't know. Yeah, this is weird. That's a bad calendar. Because I'm looking at July here, and July 30th is on a Wednesday. What in the world? Phil So Real, what up with you, my guy? Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you coming on. How you doing today, brother?
Man, look, peace and blessings. I'm finally getting a baby to get ready to take a nap, so I want to jump on real quick and say what's up to you.
All right, and thanks for trolling me the whole daggone show. I appreciate your trolling.
Hey, listen, but I paid to troll you though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a freeloader. If I'm gonna get on your nerves, it's gonna be worth it at least.
You're not a free troller.
Pretty much. Hey, but can I make some quick points as far as some of the stuff you've been talking about?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
So, in all seriousness, I think the Big 12 still has a long way to go as far as being competitive against even the ACC. I think top to bottom, the ACC is a better conference than the Big 12. But I think what makes the Big 12 so exciting is that there are so many equals that you really don't know what the outcome, you really don't have an outcome to expect. Because on any given Saturday, anything can happen. And that's what makes the Big 12 such a fun conference. And if I know you listen to Josh Pate on his show, his podcast, but he talks about the Big 12 being America's conference, and that's one of the reasons why he says that is because he knows anybody can beat anybody in even any given Saturday. As far as Colorado is concerned this year, I think they're going to have a good season. I think they're definitely going to at the very least make a bowl game. Hopefully this year, Colorado can win. Excuse me, Dion can win his first bowl game as a head coach because he was not able to win a Celebration Bowl the 2 years that he was at Jackson State. The first year at Colorado, they had a great start to the season. He was not able to get 6 wins. And then last year, they just went to bed against BYU, a team they should have been better than. So I think this is the year that Shedeur Sanders finally gets his bowl win as a head coach.
Why? Okay, so on one hand, folks say that the bowl games are basically a big open practice. On another hand,
in some ways, yes, that is the case.
But then on another hand, they make a big deal about losing or winning. So then it's like, which one do you want, college football fans? What do you want? Is it just a big practice game and nobody cares? But then you count the wins and the losses is counted.
I put it like this. As a Bama fan, I was pissed that they lost to Michigan in the Capital One Bowl last year. while yes, the bowl games don't have the same value they had before because so many people are sitting out. If it's not a playoff game, you still want your put it like this: every fan base wants to win the last game of the season,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what game that is. Because usually, if you're not making a bowl game, at the very least, that last game of the season is going to be against your rival. So, you know what I'm saying? You want to win that game. If you're not in a conference championship game, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. If you make a conference championship game, you want to win that one. If you make a playoff game, you want to win that one. If you go to you go to a bowl game, you want to win that one. So every college wants to win the last game of the season. So bowl games do matter. It just don't hit the same because your normal starters are not always starting because guys are trying to sit out to get ready for the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a weird thing for the way college football fans treat bowl games. They're like, one hand they don't care, the next hand is like, okay, well, you lost the bowl game. Like in conversation, they'll troll you for losing the bowl game. In the same
Right.
breath, in another side of the conversation, they'll be like, if you use that too much to flex, they'll say it was just a bowl game and nobody played.
Exactly. But see, but you know me, I'm a butter, I'm legacy, whatever. Insert the name that you gotta give me, but I miss when bowl games matter. I enjoyed seeing teams that, hey, we only went 7-5 this year. We made a bowl game and everybody's out there fighting like it's the first game of the season. Everybody's out there fighting like it's a national championship game. And then guess what? That bowl game in some ways can propel a team into the next season because their players tried so hard and it meant so much to them. So bowl games to me still matter and will always matter. I'm about to use a double negative. I'm never going to not care about a bowl game because it can propel it can propel a team to the season that's ahead.
See, I'm about to catch you in a situation, and I'm preparing you because it's going to come in a question form.
Talk to me.
Okay. So we've had conversations here where when we started to flex with the bowl games, you was like, it's a bowl game, nobody cares. I'm calling you out now personally. And then also, if you think about this, when we started having a conversation about Shedeur and OTAs, the same dynamics is happening. The OTAs don't count. So we're having this conversation about how OTAs don't matter, but if he was to do bad, then it matters. Can you talk on that?
Yeah, so first off, I'll say this. I can't say that I remember a time where I tried to discredit bowl games, but this is your show. You said it, so I'm going to say that it did happen.
No. You weren't discrediting it in like just open discretion, whatever. You weren't doing that. It was just discrediting whatever. It was more so like when we started to use it as a flex. Right?
But how could you use it as a flex when they never won a bowl game though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, if the conversation was to come up as a flex, like it was just not necessarily like, oh, Colorado is like the best, but no, if we started using it as a flex, you would say, well, it doesn't matter. I think it was a conversation we were having with like Common Sense Buff and others, and we was like, oh, Colorado's going to win the bowl game, and I don't know, I don't remember the actual details.
So,
but
you know what? So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. In that case, I'll just say I'm a hater, and I'll just leave it at that. As far
what about the OTAs?
Okay, yeah. So as far as the OTAs are concerned, I'm not as much of a hater as DC. As much as I love my fellow Bama fan, DC is the biggest hater on this channel, and I hope he finds the love of Christ that he needs in his life to not be a hater. I know he's gonna give me trouble for that. I'm sorry. Okay, let me be serious. Okay.
No, don't be
The
serious.
O-
Please.
okay, okay. The OTAs do matter because when Russell Wilson went to the Seahawks and he was a third round draft pick, and they had just signed Matt Flynn from Green Bay,
Uh-huh.
the talks were saying, "Hey, Russell Wilson is looking good. He might be that dude." And he was able to end up get the starting job, and then he was able to win a championship in Seattle. So I think OTAs do matter. I just think for whatever reason, there's a lot more sauce put on some of the stats that don't really matter when it comes to Shedeur from Colorado fans. So I think
Okay,
there needs to be a way that we level set some of the stuff that's going on.
all right, so let's hold that thought real quick. Let me get people to screen capture the real information. I think what we were the link that I had, the first link that I had was a 2022 link. This is actually the 2025 link. So here's the schedule, guys. We'll continue our chat in a second, but here's the schedule. July 25th. All right, there's going to be a practice at 2 p.m. That's Friday, July 25th. Saturday, July 26th. There's going to be a 9:30 a.m. practice. This is for the Browns. Monday, July 28th is going to be a practice at 2 p.m. I got it on the full screen so you can screen capture if you need to try to keep up with what's going on with the Browns. Tuesday, July 29th is going to be a 2 p.m. practice. All right, looks like okay, so it looks like these are open practices that you can actually buy tickets for. You can go to. Wednesday, July 30th is going to be a practice at 9:30 a.m. Friday, August 1st is going to be a 2 p.m. practice. August 2nd, 9:30 a.m. practice. And then August the 4th is going to be a 2 p.m. practice. All right, so go ahead, screen capture this if you just want to have something on your screen so you can remind yourself this is what's going on with your Shedeur. If you are a machete uncle or a machete auntie. All right, so yeah, okay. I mean, we jokingly talk about the OTAs and we talk about the fact that we have like OTAs don't really matter because they're in Pampers, right? They're just walking around with helmets and shorts and whatnot. But on the flip side, if he didn't do as well, then there will be a conversation like he's not an NFL quarterback because he already.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. I cannot deny that, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but
Yeah.
that is the truth of the matter. If he went out there and he stunk it up, people would use that against him. I just
Right.
think for me, I'm a person that I can't get too high or too low on stuff that to me doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? So like I say, like when I say, one game doesn't make a season, I can't get mad if a team loses one game. It's not the end of the world. If Shedeur is going into OTAs and he's doing good, you know, I'm not going to get too high or too low on it unless they're saying like, "Hey, this guy is the next Brady. This guy is the next Peyton Manning." I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get all hot and bothered about it. But once the rest of the veterans get there and like we really get into the meat and potatoes of the off season, then that's when I'll start to care. That's just how I operate.
So hold up. You just said something I don't want you to leave too fast on. Unless they're saying he's the next Manning and next what would determine that for you?
You know what? That's a great question, and I don't have an answer for you. So, in this situation, maybe I shouldn't use that analogy if I can't explain it. So, I'm
Oh
going to be
no, you
honest
can't
and
walk
I'm
it
going to be
back. Come
humble.
on.
No. I want to be very clear. I'm not walking it back. I still said what I said. I'm just saying in this moment, I can't fully express what I'm trying to say, and I'm willing to be an adult to admit that. Unlike some Colorado fans,
Why are you always picking on Colorado fans?
because y'all trash, and I don't like y'all.
We're trash.
I'm just talking. Honestly, at this point, I'm just trying to bother you. I ain't been able to get on the live in a while and give you hell, so that's what I'm doing right now. So
Okay.
you can take half of what I'm saying is the stone cold truth, and the other half I'm doing
That's
stand up
trolling.
comedy. Yeah, pretty much. But
Okay.
you'll know when I'm being serious.
I know you're being serious on half of the stuff, but I know you really
No,
mean
but
we're trash. I know.
but you know what? But you know what though? But you know what though? I will say this. I will say this. If if the coaching staff from Cleveland, I'm about to say Colorado. If the coaching staff from Cleveland is very high on them, because usually like coaches try to give coach speak during this time of season.
Uh-huh.
But if coaches are like, you know what, I can't even give you coach speak. I gotta big up Shedeur for whatever he's doing. Then to me, it's like, okay, he's that good that they can't even deny it. But again, once the real OTA start and the veterans are there, and we're starting to hear more things out of Cleveland, that's when I'm going to pay more attention. But honestly, I think Flacco is going to be the guy that starts the season, and I think at some point Shedeur will play. Shedeur will start. I just don't think he's going to start the season for Colorado. I just don't.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think a lot of us who are Shedeur, machete uncles and machete aunties. I think a lot of us, if you're not thinking in that vein, a lot of us are not too high on like, oh, he has to start, right? But I think people misconstrue the way that we're thinking about him being a good quarterback. They misconstrue it and think like he has to start right now. So I don't think he necessarily has to start. I think he's their future, and they need to start preparing him to be their future. And the way that you prepare him to be your future is that you don't play no games with him. Stop playing the games. I don't understand why they have to play games with it. Stop playing games with it. You know he's good enough, and you need a quarterback that has the whether you want to call it the acumen or all of the attributes that's needed.
Yeah.
If you see that in him, then don't play with it. I feel like they are like that organization that just don't know how to handle pressure. That's the thing. They don't know how to handle big moments and pressure. And that's cost them a lot in the future because they've had quarterbacks that were like top quarterbacks and they didn't know what to do with them.
No, I agree, and I see what you're saying. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I hate that Shedeur went to Cleveland. One, I hate he went to Cleveland because I'm a Steelers fan, so I have to not like the Browns. And then on the opposite side, I just think the Browns are a trash team. So like it's hard for me to want to root for them. But
Not just a trash team, but also a trash organization.
Well, yeah, that is a better word to use. Not just the team, but the organization itself is trash as a whole.
Yeah.
But I think in this moment, while the Browns are usually the laughing stock of the NFL, I do
Yeah.
believe that they have a good nucleus on their team, and that they could be pretty good. They
They're
have
good. They got a good coach.
yeah, they have a solid defense, and all they need is a good quarterback to put it together. Now, I don't necessarily think that Joe Flacco is at this point in his career. I don't think Joe Flacco is a game changer. However, I think
He's
he's a
just the
good
best
enough.
game manager they got.
And I don't want to say game manager because in all honesty, every quarterback is a game manager. It just looks different. Because
But he
when
got to
you
be the best game manager they got. If you thinking that he would be the starter, that why
but
else
no,
would you
no,
want him to be the
but
starter?
yeah, but and that's how I feel. But I think moving forward as a whole, I think Shedeur is going to be the better option over Dylan Gabriel for sure. I
And if
think he's a better quarterback.
and this is it's a good point to bring in this hater. Let's bring him on. Let's bring DC on.
Boom.
Welcome to the show, DC. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate you, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, fellas. How about y'all? Y'all doing all right?
We're
Hey
doing
man,
all right. Yes.
I'm blessed and highly flavored.
Yeah, very artificially flavored.
Non-GMO.
I'm glad you came on here to defend yourself, Mr. DC.
Hey,
Hater of the galaxy.
hey, I'm like this. If I'm the hater now, I'm putting my Darth Vader hat on and just man join the full. Join me or die. Here we go. If that's what we gonna do. Harry B.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard of Dorian Thompson Robinson?
Dorian Thompson Robinson. Why does that name sound so familiar?
Well,
Go ahead with it,
this
DC.
this person, also affectionately known as DTR,
Uh-huh.
got drafted by the Browns in 2023 in the fifth round. Was supposed to be a good quarterback.
Okay.
And DTR, who is no longer at the team, they traded him, swap him and Kenny Pickett swap play
Phil, you still here?
our stats.
Oh, what
Yep,
was
I'm still here. Can you hear me? Would you like
yes.
to
Yeah,
know?
I'm still here. I had to put the baby
Yes.
down. He crying, so I'm gonna go on mute
Would
for a second.
right?
Yeah,
Would
go
you
ahead.
like to know DTR stats at the Browns?
Oh, I think he was in one of those videos that I made. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, because in his 2 seasons at the Browns, and mind you, the Browns have started with 11 quarterbacks in the past 2 years. DTR has thrown one TD and 10 interceptions. So why am I bringing that up?
You better tell us.
Because at the end of the day, you have to understand that this is the Browns. I understand. Again, I am not a Shedeur hater. I'm just not ready to label him Brady like a lot of people are. Just keeping it real. I done seen a lot of quarterbacks that have come into this league that were
Wait, what college
that
team did he
were
play on?
who did DRTR? Where was DTR come from? Crap.
Was it UCLA?
I think it was. I don't know why I don't know that right off the top of my head. Yeah, he was at UCLA. All right, but here go the thing.
It,
The
it was
point I'm
UCLA. It
yeah,
was
it was.
UCLA.
The thing I'm trying to sit here and say is that the Browns, the way they've managed the quarterbacks, because again, all I'm gonna sit here and say is that reps for rookies are important. It doesn't mean that Shador will never be a stud quarterback. It's just to a point of when you're new, it's the reps. When you have a lot of quarterbacks in the room, it's the reps. That's it. So Shador can do a great job. It feel like this if had it be no if it was just Flacco, Shador, and some other, let's just say some other QB. I would say Shador is your starter. But because you have four with a Deshaun Watson still out there, there are reports he could be back as early as October. I don't see that. But he could be back. I'm sorry, January. I don't see that. But that's what I'm saying. This is a mess, and it's going to be about reps.
So Bandwagon Brown says DTR can't tie Shador's shoelaces. You want to bark on that?
Folks, check this out. We gotta stop thinking that what you do in college will automatically transfer. How many quarterbacks put it like this? Baker Mayfield was considered a stud. Feel how well did Baker Mayfield do in Cleveland?
He was trash in Cleveland. He's been doing a little bit
Okay,
better in Tampa Bay, but as a whole, he is not what we thought he was gonna be. But for
right.
some, he is who we thought he was gonna be.
Right. That's the only point I'm making. It's not to take away from Shador. It's just being to a point of I can sit here and go down a list of a bunch of QBs that came out that were great in college and didn't do well in see, like for example, there's a QB that has two national championships and has phenomenal and was drafted high, but but they had the same, not to a certain degree, the same conversation about him that you hear a little bit about Shadur. They said that he was too confident and cocky. You know what his name is? AJ McCarron. Now you can't sit here and nobody on here can sit here and tell me that if you put Shadur's college career up against AJ McCarron, that Shadur will win. He ain't.
How many national championships did AJ McCarron win?
One, two. There's only 3
Okay.
quarterbacks that have won 3 championships. He's one of them.
Bandwagon Browns is saying the comparison is bad. DC Shedeur is more like Jalen Daniels.
What would
Regardless
you
of the fact, listen, if y'all can't see the forest for the trees for the point that he's trying to make, then it is what it is. Maybe he's not using the exact person that we need to use in this comparison, but the point still remains. Let's
You
just look at
can't.
it that way.
No, you can't sit here and compare Shador and Jaden Daniels. But I wouldn't expect that from nothing different from somebody whose name is Bandwagon Browns. What else do I expect you to say? Nothing else. But I got love for that. But the only point I'm making though
Hey, I'm
is that
bandwagon
again,
buff.
nobody's saying Shador. Say it again.
First of all, I started that bandwagon Browns stuff, and you know that. And I'm bandwagon
Yes.
Browns. Yeah, see, I told you. See,
I
the
think
kids know.
No, that's Bandwagon Brown on the phone right there with Phil.
That's what he said. He said,
That's what your
wow,
take
wow,
sound
wow.
like.
That's the
Sound like
babies
babble.
going win
Yeah.
Y'all are terrible. I can't with
Shador is
y'all.
not like, cause check this out. Like I'm gonna give Shador his flowers. He got to give it. But like when I listen, here's the thing. What I'm saying, I'm not a Shador hater. I'm not a Colorado hater. What I don't like is when we use this absolute super comparison. Like for example, most accurate quarterback. You wanna know what quarterback had one of the most accurate seasons and best seasons recently within college football? It is not Shador. It is, drum roll please, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow did not lose a game and have a 76.1% completion rate. And a lot of times he was sitting on the bench. So that's what I'm saying. Now, as far as overall numbers and stuff like that, Shador beats Joe Burrows. But again,
How do
Joe
we get to the
Burrows
comparisons? I'm trying
Hold
to.
on. Hey,
beat.
can I jump in? I just want
Go
to make
ahead.
one real quick point about the whole Joe Burrow thing. As a Bama fan, I have to point out that the only team that was within even a chance of beating LSU was Bama. Yes, they went into Tuscaloosa and beat Bama. I get it. It is what it is. My heart still breaks. Because I never forget that weekend. I lost my cousin that Thursday night, and then that Saturday I lost against LSU. But Bama should have won that game. I don't know what Tua was doing. That was the year that Bama really should have won a natty. It is what it is. But yeah, Joe Burrow was different. He is not. Let me rephrase that. Shedeur Sanders is nowhere near as good as Joe Burrow. Full stop. And it is what it is.
Right. I mean, because his first year, dude was like what, 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Here's the thing I want to say though, but here's the thing, because somebody said the Texas truth. I agree with you on this one. I do want to see Shador play, but the conditions can you, because truth be told, most of what they're gonna be doing this year is Shador handoff to Judkins. Is that not going to be true? Whoever gets out there is going to be minimally passive because they don't have the outside. They don't have that deep threat. Jerry Judy is good, but you still don't have the other deep threat wide receiver. You got to have that. So at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
they got
is
they got they got Jared Judy and they got the tight end and Joku or whatever the
Fannin.
case is.
They got
Um,
Fannin. They drafted. And so that's what I
you
think it's going to be, a lot of short work going on. And I think Shador can do that. There's no question about it. It's just that I think at the end of the day is how many reps are they going to give? But Shador is an accurate quarterback. There ain't no question about it. I'm just saying, I think we got to get past the thing of saying that the hater, and I know that's not what y'all are saying, even though I'll gladly take that title, is that he's got to be able to be, put it like this: you can be a great QB, but you got to be put in a situation to win. And Harry, even with the OTAs, he can look great. He still ain't getting all the reps that he needs.
But that's my argument is I think Cleveland needs to, like, again, they're a terrible organization. They don't know how to handle situations, moments. They don't know how to do that. But I think they have their quarterback in Shedeur. You can agree or disagree, right? But I feel like you
I
have a
agree with you,
quarterback
Harry.
there.
I think Shedeur is the answer.
Yeah.
I truly believe Shedeur is the answer at Colorado. I mean, excuse me, Cleveland.
Right. And then, I mean, if you look at it, he has everything that they're looking for. And he's right there in house. But here they are, not knowing how to handle this situation, this moment, just like they've done with all these other quarterbacks that they've had in house and let them go. They're reminding me of the daggone New York Knicks. You have all of the pieces that you need right there in house, but you don't have the leadership to be able to put them all together, and you don't know how to handle it. If you knew how to handle it, you will understand, like, you got the piece there, start treating him. We're not making an argument about he has to start right now. So don't get us twisted. Don't get us bandwagon Browns twisted. You know what I'm saying? We're not out here screaming, start him now. If he doesn't start now, I'm fine with that. But stop treating this moment like we're looking at some scrub quarterback who is fifth round talent. We're not. And that is the problem that a lot of us have. And we're just sitting back like, y'all are fumbling this moment. Like, if you could just treat it the way it's supposed to be treated, give your starter the reps, and then start getting Shedeur ready to take over.
Harry.
Yeah.
Hey, Harry, I want to make this clear. I'm a lot higher on Shedeur than. Here's the thing: DC is not saying that Shedeur is trash, but I am more closer to your belief system on Shedeur than DC is. I truly think that Shedeur is an NFL quarterback. I think he's going to be great. My issue is that it's the Cleveland Browns. He could have been picked in the 5th round with any other franchise, and I would be okay with it. But the fact that he went to the Cleveland Browns, I just don't trust them to do whatever it takes for him to be successful. With that being said, throughout his career, at the very least at Colorado, we've seen him do more with less. So I think he's going to be able to be fine and to be a serviceable NFL quarterback. I'm not going to say he's going to be a gold jacket, championship, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm not. I'm not ready to say all of that yet.
Yeah. And I want to be very clear. I just use that as like a marker, to so to speak. I'm not saying that I think he's going to be this fantastical quarterback. I think he's going to be a legit quarterback in the NFL. I think he's going to be a serviceable quarterback. I think he can be beneficial to the Browns. However, we also have to be honest at the fact that he is a 5th round draft pick. And the way things work, a 5th round draft pick is not going to get the benefit of the doubt during OTAs. He's not going to get the lion's share of the snaps. So it is going to be incumbent upon Shedeur to make sure he does the most with those snaps that he does get.
Here is the argument that, you see, what you just stated and how you stated it is fair, right? And I think for the most part, most of the machete uncles and aunties are going to understand it like that. But I think where DC and others bring in the anger and the pushback is that when you say we got to believe, we got to accept the fact that he's a 5th rounder, they're also throwing in there him being a 5th round talent. And I think that's where you're going to get the most heat from, because you want to take the totality of what's happening to him and the dysfunctional actions of the Browns and use that as an argument to justify the 5th round talent talk, right? Because if he was this talented or if he was X, Y, and Z, then they wouldn't treat him like that. But I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, no, he's not a 5th round talent, but he is a 1st round talent that the Cleveland Browns drafted in the 5th round, and they don't know how to handle him. That's the argument I will argue over and over again on the internet.
But Harry,
I don't know that DCETAL. I don't think DCETAL understand that, and that's where we get heated. Like, when we start going back and forth, DCETAL don't know how to have this conversation. Minus the 5th round talent part.
Well, no, that's not
Harry,
true.
No matter what the case is, he was drafted in the 5th round.
We're talking about the technical. We're talking about the stuff that we have to accept, and I agree with that portion of how you laid it out. We got to now argue the other portion of that layout, where some people believe that how he's being treated is indicative of his draft status and his talent, because how can all these people get it wrong and he's not getting 1st round, he's not getting first round snaps or first team snaps. Go ahead, DC.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. If you notice, see, this is what I would say. All right, this is my position.
Do you want to clarify my?
Yeah,
my
I'm going to clarify. I'm
saying clarify my accusations against you.
No,
and then move from there. Because
I'm not saying
I'm
that
leveling some
Shedeur
accusations against you.
Okay, so here's my thing. I'm not saying that Shedeur was drafted in the right spot. I don't think he was a fifth round. I think he was somewhere around between first, maybe second, or third. But you got to understand, put this in context.
Do you believe that Shedeur is a first round talent?
I believe that he is a first round talent. I do. See, but put it like this. I at least believe
you don't argue the arguments that way. Your arguments are very err on the side of how they drafted him.
No, not necessarily. I will tell you this. Harry, you don't remember you saying on your show last year.
You a clipboard gangster. Stop playing with me.
Well, that's just joking. That's just joking around. That's just joking around. Let's just go ahead and just deal with it. What I don't like. I don't like when you can't have the nuances in the football conversation so that we can get to the truth. Like, for example, I can say that Shedeur, I've never said he was not an NFL QB. I said he's a solid NFL QB. I'm not ready to call him a franchise QB because I've seen too many first round talent flame out. Okay. So you can't blame me for sitting back saying historically, is that there are instances.
DC, truth be told, okay, let me air this out. Truth be told, you tell me. This is you're on here live. We're talking live.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not affected by his draft status? Does nothing and how he's being handled with Browns? Are you not? Does it not affect how you think and process this whole thing? Because I feel like the conversations that we've had, it has affected you.
Can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead,
One point I want to make. We have to be honest about what a fifth round draft pick goes through in the OTAs. What I think the biggest issue that most people that quote unquote are against Shedeur are having is that you want Shedeur to have special treatment because he is Shedeur. A fifth round draft pick doesn't get this much conversation. This is the highest rated, most talked about fifth round draft pick in NFL history. That's just not how things work. So the point that DC is trying to make is this is not how things normally go for a fifth round draft pick.
No. But that's why I said this is a two-sided conversation. And the second side of what you're saying, the first side that you're saying is the reality of the fifth round. We cannot ignore the reality of the fifth round and what technically happens based on NFL rules. There are snap counts, right? You can only have so many, you can only do but so much with the snap counts because you got to prepare your first round. You got to prepare your starting quarterback and give him this amount of snaps. NFL rules indicate that you cannot, like college football, go for 3-4 hours. You can't practice all day. You only have a short window to practice for the NFL. You're talking about the technical realities of a fifth round. Now, my conversation with the flip side of that is are you treating him his talent? Are you treating him like a fifth rounder? And if you're not, then what you said on your second time talking, where you say y'all want him to be given special treatment because he's Shedeur, no. That is not the argument. The argument is we want him to get special treatment because he is a first-round talent.
You're not going to get that. That's what I'm saying. It's like you want to put a Corvette engine in the Kia.
No. That's not the argument. That's not you're taking this the wrong way. So if me and Phil agreed on the top of the conversation, if we agree that he is their franchise quarterback or he is the quarterback they need to give the reps to so that they can get him ready, on that premise alone, if you believe you have first-round talent in-house, don't play with it like a fifth round. You feel me?
I know, but let me finish.
He's in your house. You're not playing with the NFL rules no more. He's in your house.
But here's the thing.
You got him there. So you're not going to play around with it like he's a fifth rounder. It's what I'm saying.
You are going to play around with it if he's a fifth rounder. That's what I'm saying.
But that's if you believe his talent, his skill set is fifth round. Then do that. But if you let's say you got a Jalen Daniels, right? That's a first round talent. You agree? You got Jalen Daniels in house, but for some odd reason he was drafted in the fifth round. Would you play around with him the same way you're playing around with Shedeur?
Well, if I drafted, but Jalen Daniels was drafted in the first round, but not the fifth round.
That's exactly my argument. You got a first round talent. That's why I'm just letting you know how the argument goes.
Okay, here's a
first round talent in house, but you just happen to.
But hold on 1 second.
In the fifth round.
Hold on 1 second. All right, so let's just say this.
Okay.
I will sit back and say I understand that argument, and I'm not going to push back against the argument of the belief that Shedeur was the first round. I would even push back against if someone said they believe he should have been the first pick. What I am going to sit back say, okay,
I'm off the pick, and I'm on the talent.
Right, and I'm not
stuck on the pick. I'm on the
talent. I'm not on the pick. I'm not on the pick. But the position of the pick. What I'm sitting here saying.
Go ahead.
Yes, what I'm sitting here saying is that because you remember a conversation I had to do last year, and we were talking about it was before this. No, it was actually during the 4 and 8 season, and people were saying that they believed that Shedeur was a first round then. And then I looked it up, and I don't know if you remember on the show, I was like, if Shedeur is being rated that high, he should not come back to Colorado for that next year. And then folks got on to me. I was saying, no, because Prime trying to do something. He's trying to help his dad. I said, I get it. I said, but if that was my son and I knew he was graded at a first round, I would tell him to leave. That's what I said. Okay. And so now it's to a point where we're here in a first round. And I have to say that I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but here's my concern. First round pick, but nobody picked him. Now, understand we can get into whether it was collusion or whatever it is.
You leaning into this pick, and then my accusation is going to be correct.
No. What I'm saying,
leaning into the pick. You said you're not on the pick.
What I'm saying is that he can be put like this. Johnny Manziel was extremely talented, but what Johnny Manziel had an issue was the focus, and there were some other things that he had going on. I am not saying Shedeur is the same as Johnny Manziel. What I am saying
you're going to put up those 2 tickets real soon. I know it's coming.
Right. What I'm saying is something might have gone on to the pro. Because right now we're saying he was colluded against. I can't push because I don't know what it is. But what I know is something happened. If it was something where the NFL colluded, fine. If it was something that
you're going too far into the pick. I'm trying to tell you. My argument is not about the pick. Let's get to the talent.
What I'm trying to say to you is that I believe Shedeur is a first round talent. But I'm also saying being drafted in the first round.
Let's just use that.
Mean
where you stand as him being the first round talent, right? Let's forget about the collusion stuff, the Johnny Manziel comparisons. Let's leave that alone because that's the part that makes the conversation goes back into a cycle. Let's just use the talent part. Let's say we're gonna use you as the GM / first, like you got the you're the GM and you are the OC. I mean, you are the head coach. You're the AC. You have the talent, the first round talent that you believe is a first round talent in house, right? Are you playing with it like a fifth round pick, or are you choosing him, and are you preparing him like the first round talent you believe he is? That's the question.
Not if I drafted him at the fifth round.
You see, that's what I'm saying. So you're on the pick.
No. Wait a minute. Hold on one second. Because see, but you're on the pick because you're saying he's a fifth round talent. We thought, and guess who got who? There's another QB in that room that was considered
Phil,
a
help
first
me
round
out.
talent.
Phil, am I expressing this the right way?
Let me explain it. Harry, what you're trying to say. No, I'm not going in circles.
You
What it
are
is, I'm
going in
trying to see
circles.
it. No, let me finish it.
Come on, Phil,
What
help me
I'm
out here.
saying to you, what I'm saying to you is this.
Uh-huh.
We can sit here and say he is a first round talent, right?
Okay. Okay.
But what you're saying is, which I don't agree with, is well, since he was a first round talent and since he's a franchise QB, which I don't agree that he was a franchise, he is a franchise QB at this point.
So,
Because for
okay,
me,
to
I got to
clear it up,
see
you
it.
believe
You
he
can
is
just
a
tell me.
first round talent, but not their franchise quarterback. Just to clear it up.
Right.
Okay, so you
I don't
believe he
believe
is
that
first, he's
at
a
this
first round.
point.
Let's just believe you believe he is first round talent, but he's not
Right.
their franchise quarterback. Okay, good. Go ahead.
I, I need
Continue.
to see him to play to say, okay, that's a franchise QB. Because those are
Okay.
two different things.
All right. So
So
clarify. So
so
now clarify your point.
Right. So my point is what you seem to be saying. Well, if I know it doesn't matter where he was drafted, I believe he should have been first round. He's that talented. And he's talented enough to be a franchise QB. So that means I need to push all these other QBs that I have in the room and make Shedeur a priority. And what
Yes,
I'm saying to you
obviously, yes.
is, and
You and
I'm
I
sitting here,
believe the same thing. You said
right.
you believe it. So yeah, if you have you heard of a steal? You don't believe in steals? Like you caught a like it's like a Thanksgiving or Black Friday crazy 80-inch TV and it got all the works. It got everything. And you just happen to have a coupon that took off that extra money. Now you only get it for $20. You don't believe in that?
I believe in that.
So if you and I are on that same page, then why is it that you would bring this TV home, but treat it like you would treat this TV secondary, like you would put it somewhere where most of where you're not sitting all the time. You bring this 80-inch TV home that has the whole works, but you're gonna put it in your garage, not in your basement where you got everything set up. You're gonna bring this TV home and treat it like something different. Is that what you're telling me?
No, what I'm telling you is this. Okay. We got to understand that Shador is talented. But we also have to
Don't move the
understand
goalpost. No, we got to understand that Shedeur is the first round talent. Say it, DC. Say it.
Shador is the
You
first
said
round
I
talent. I didn't
agree.
say that. I, I,
No,
I didn't say that.
no, but you gotta when you start when you start shaping your argument, it got to stay with the belief that you say you have.
But
It
what
can't
I'm
be
saying,
we all gotta believe that Shedeur is talented.
the,
No,
here's the
we
problem. Here's the
believe that
problem.
Shedeur is first round. Say
No,
it.
but I already said it. I'm not going to say it again. I've already
You
said it.
said it when I was asking you, but when you're shaping your argument, it gets lost.
Well, the argument you have to take it as the value is that if you ask me if I'm the GM or am I the head coach, if I'm the GM
Uh-huh.
and I believe that Shador was a first round talent, then I would have selected him in the third round, not the fifth,
But you see
not the
what you're
fifth
doing?
round.
You see what you're doing?
But you're asking me what DC would do,
Right, but
and
I'm
then I
asking but I started the conversation with saying
yes,
DC, do you believe that Shedeur is a first round talent? You
I
said yes.
believe he is a first round
Okay,
talent.
so now we're going to only form this next
We can't do
argument based
that. We
on
can't do that.
then
That's
you're
because
stuck on
then
the pick. Then you
no, we're
don't
not
surely
stuck.
then you
No, we're
surely
not.
don't
We're not
believe that
stuck.
he is first round talent.
No,
Because
but
there is a difference between getting a steal of a first round talent steal at the fifth round. You can't believe he was still there. You cannot believe that Shedeur fell all the way to the fifth round. You
but you
cannot
can't.
believe
But
that
you
because you're
but
like,
yeah,
wow,
but at the
but
end of the
DC,
day is. But again, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Because this is the
you don't
thing.
believe he's a first round talent then.
Here's what I'm sitting here
You don't believe
saying.
the TV you got is a real good TV. You think
What
it's
no,
not even
what I'm
you don't
what I
you don't think
what
it's
I'm sitting
LED.
here saying is if you're asking me if I'm the head coach and you're asking me and I'm dealing with a GM and I'm dealing with a manager, okay? I mean I'm
Okay.
not a GM and I'm dealing with the owner. Okay. Here's the thing. All these other teams passed on this first round talent into the fifth round. So if we want to sit here and say, I believe that he's this, and the other person believe with this. Something in this process has gone wrong where though he had the talent, he was not put there. Right. So what you're saying is, well, all of that doesn't matter at this point because he's a first round pick. So therefore, even though he's in the fifth round, and even though I have not seen him take one live snap, I should automatically say because he's a first round talent, even though on the Browns board, they themselves said that they had I'm not Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel at that slot because Stefanski
Can,
liked Dylan Gabriel.
You're
can I
Then
just
are
say
missing the
you?
something
argument,
really
Then
DC.
quick?
what do you expect them to
DC,
do?
you're
Go ahead.
missing the argument.
No, I'm not because the argument that you're trying to
Yo,
go
please
down
help me
is
out
that
because I
everything
feel like
says
I've
put
said
him
it
put.
several times and DC still
No,
don't
what
get it.
you're saying is what? No, what you're saying is correct me if I'm
Bro, you
wrong.
said it like 3
It's
times
that
already.
first round. Therefore, but put it like this: we're gonna get rid of the rounds. We're gonna sit here and say, as far as talent, you're saying you believe because of how you feel about Shador, he should be getting first team reps and the priority. Yes or no?
You don't, DC, okay? You've said that
Yes
like
or
3 to
no?
5 times
No,
already.
no, no, no. But Harry, but
Yes or
to
no?
help me out, can you please answer his question? I was getting
Yes or
sidetracked with the
no?
The
baby.
best
So
way
can
that
you
I can
just
answer
bring it
DC's
back in?
question,
It's a yes or
okay?
no. If you believe
No,
that
it's
he
not a
should
yes
be,
or no. It's not a yes or no because you have an agenda. Let me
I don't have
phrase
an
it.
agenda.
You do.
Harry, but let's
We
be fair.
both have an
Everybody has
agenda.
an agenda.
I don't have
Everybody
an
has an
agenda.
We all
agenda. So
have an
don't
agenda in this
play.
conversation. But okay, hold up. Let me put it this way. So hear me out, okay? Remember, I'm phrasing the conversation. I'm taking the conversation to a place where I said, "Hey, DC, is it possible that we can forget about the pick
Yes.
and we can focus on the talent?" You said, "Yeah, it's possible,"
Yes.
and I believe that his talent is first round, right? If
But
that's
his
the case,
talent may
if
be
you can
first
forget,
round. His
if you
talent may
can
be
forget
first
the
round, but
pick,
he still has to jump ahead of he still has to jump ahead of all the other quarterbacks that one were drafted ahead of him, and then the two
is
veteran
Dylan
quarterbacks
Gabriel
on the
a
team.
first round talent?
No.
No,
Okay. So that's his only competition, correct?
it's not his only competition if he's
It
trying to be a
is. No.
starter.
We're talking about the 2 rookies, the future. I'm not talking about the old head that can
So
only play
yes,
9
so
games a
yes,
season.
so
Uh,
Yes.
to have a good faith conversation, the only person he has to beat out on the roster is Dylan Gabriel. I think
Okay.
we all agree that he's a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
Yes,
So, but we
full stop.
believe that Dylan Gabriel is not a first round talent, right?
No,
Right.
not at
Okay.
all.
I'm going to slow walk this conversation. Let's slow walk it.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You hadn't answered my
I feel
question
like we
though.
have to.
Because
I
my
feel
question
like
is,
we
because
have
my
to because
question,
you're not getting it. You don't understand what I'm
no,
trying to do.
I understand what you're trying to do, but I'm
You
trying to
said
sit here and get
you can allow your brain to leave the pick alone and to
Harry,
deal with the
Harry,
talent.
Harry.
If not,
I'm standing,
then we'll go in
Harry.
circles.
I'm right at your car. Okay. I see that you have swerved a little bit and you swerved over the center line. I
Are you
have
a cop
pulled you
right now?
over.
Hold on.
I have pulled you
Are you
over.
acting as Officer
Yes,
DC
I
right
am.
now?
I
Or
am. I have
are you
pulled
DC
you
the
over.
sports analyst?
I am both at this point. I have
Oh
pulled you
no.
over and I have
No.
walked up to I've already ran your
We don't
tag
like
and I
cops
didn't see
over.
what
We
I
don't
see.
like cops around here.
So I'm walking over to your window and I'm asking you to roll it down and I'm gonna ask you a direct question, and that is, have you been good
No,
evening? Have you been drinking?
no
And you
English.
sit up here saying, well, it depends, drinking. I have
So
consumed
then you
something
lie.
to
So then
drink.
I'm not gonna call you a liar. So then that means that what you're telling me is that you're not capable of laying down the idea of the pick. I asked you,
No,
I said, could you? You said yes. So
I did.
you're not allowing yourself to lay down the pick and focus on the talent. And then I asked you a second question. I said, are you able to do this for me?
Harry,
What
you are trying.
what if Jalen Daniels, what if he was, for whatever reason, picked?
You
Okay,
can't
let's bring it
use.
back. Let's take it to a real situation.
Yes, but
Tom
what
Brady
you're
was
doing is
picked in
called
the round
funneling.
number 6.
You
Was he a
funneling,
first round
Harry. But
talent?
go ahead.
Was
No,
Tom Brady a first round talent?
when he was picked,
No,
no, he was not.
not at all. Heck
Not
Okay,
at all.
Hades,
perfect. So
Kenny Pickett was a first round talent. You want to continue this conversation?
no.
oh,
He
no,
wasn't. No, DC. I'm sorry. Kenny Pickett was not a first round talent. He
But
was
he was picked
27
first
years
round.
old.
No, but
he was
if he
27
was
years
first
old
round
playing
talent,
in
then he
college
was
football. He was not a first round talent. He really was
okay.
not.
Okay.
Let's keep it a book.
All right, so cool. We're on this trajectory. Can we stay right there?
Yes.
What do we understand first round talent to be?
That person.
If you're a first round talent, you're gonna come in and you're gonna be a star. Especially if you picked in
I want to hear DC say it.
you're gonna
I
be a
want to hear
starter.
DC say it. I'm slow walking this for y'all.
No,
I want
If
to hear
you
DC say it.
listen, I'm not here for y'all to be fussing and fighting.
if
Okay,
you
we're
are
not
if
doing
you are
it.
picked if you are
It's a
picked in
legit
the if
argument.
you
It's
are
a
picked
legit sports
you
argument.
if you are picked in the first round, nine
Uh-huh.
times out of ten, nine times
Uh-huh.
out of ten, because it's not an absolute, you would be starting, or you definitely will be getting the majority of the reps.
Okay. So
But
then
but is there a
since
QB? But is there
since
hold
we
on,
are
whoa.
obviously it
Because
should do it. That's a butt. There's no
right,
butt coming. I
because
knew it. I got two
no,
butters
because I'm gonna
friends
use it.
that I'm gonna
Right.
bat.
Because
Can anybody
right.
else come? Can anybody else
But,
come on the show today so I can just deal
but
with
watch this.
two butters?
But
Okay,
hold
go
on,
ahead.
because watch this. Because watch this.
I'm winning. Go ahead.
Was Jackson Dart not drafted in the first round? And is he starting? No, he is not. So just because you're a
What point are
first
you trying to make with
rounder,
Jackson Dart?
what I'm trying to say is that though he is drafted in the first round, he was
Okay.
not drafted to be a starter. That's the point I'm making. We seem that we're forgetting it.
That's a
Yes,
valid point.
right.
That's a valid
Yes.
point.
Yes. Shedeur is a first round talent. He was drafted fifth, but he was not drafted
No, but the
regardless to be
understand.
a starter.
Hey, Harry,
No,
hold
no,
on,
no, 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 no. They
real quick. Hold
drafted
on,
these two.
real quick. DC brought up a good point though, because Jackson Dart is going to a similar situation in New York that Shedeur is going to. While yes, he was the first quarterback drafted for them in the draft pick, he still has Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston ahead of him, two veteran quarterbacks. So he's going to have to work to get
So
the starting position. So while
fine,
yes, he was drafted in the
great.
first round, his expectation is not for him to be the first
Hold
round
on one
draft
second,
pick.
but
Can
hold
we
on
at
one
least
second. Hold
agree
on
on
real
that?
quick.
I like
Can we at least agree
y'all.
on
You're
that?
not even gonna let me get a word in.
But no,
I
but
like
can
the
we
argument.
agree
I
on
like
that?
where you're going with this, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm slow walking this, and y'all gonna walk. Y'all are gonna step in this doo doo by yourself. I promise you.
But hold on, one before you go there,
stepping in it,
before
which
you
is
go there,
fine.
let me finish. But
Hey,
let
I
me
Okay.
got my
finish.
ish
Right.
kickers on, so I ain't
But
worried about that.
let me finish
You got
that
your good
because I
sneakers
got my
on.
boots on
If
the
you got your
ground.
good
Let's
shoes
go.
on, you might want to take them off in this argument because y'all are about
No,
to step in some doo doo.
I can't push. I said I got my ish kickers on. I got
Okay,
my
good.
work
So you
boots
got
on, so I ain't
you.
worried about
So
it.
you can
I'm okay with
afford
it.
to step
I
in
can
this
walk
doo
in
doo
the
with the
mud with
shoes
it.
you got on. So both of y'all got your.
But the point,
DC got his army boots
hold
on,
on
so
one
he can
second.
step into anything.
I
Because
do, I
y'all can
do,
step
I
into
do,
anything when you're in
I
the
do.
woods
But
of
here,
Vietnam.
let me finish cooking though. Let me finish cooking
Go
because
ahead,
this
because
one is
I don't know where you
this
from.
right here is
Where you from, DC?
so I'm from Alabama.
I'm about to say because
Right.
if you from Louisiana, I know y'all cooking is overrated.
Nah.
Hey, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about
Louisiana
that
cooking is
either.
good. Hey,
I
All right,
don't
go
know.
ahead.
hey,
Yeah,
hey.
go ahead. I don't
Long,
want to
long
piss
as you
nobody
don't
else from
eat
Louisiana.
spaghetti
Go
Okay.
ahead.
from a young lady from
So here's
Louisiana, you good. Just stay
right.
away from spaghetti.
Right.
Y'all seasoning is
So here's the
overrated.
question, and
Go ahead.
so here's the question.
Uh-huh.
Here's the question, and the point that's going to be made,
Okay.
because at the end of the day, folks, we still have to understand is that when we look at what the Browns did, the Browns were not looking for a franchise QB, and there's no way around that, folks. We're not looking for it. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't get there. We'll get there in this conversation. All right, so let me finish my point up with the Giants.
Quilita said,
Where was
whoa,
Shador
Harry.
supposed to go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
DC, y'all are skirting the question, man. Can we just get straight to it, man?
No, hold on.
Y'all are skirting this
I'm right
question.
here
It's
at it.
very simple.
I'm right at it. I'm right
You're
at it
not. You're not.
because I am right at
You're
it. Think
more.
about this.
Y'all are bothered by the pick.
Nuh-uh.
Y'all don't want to admit it, but you
I ain't
really are
bothered by the pick.
bothered by the pick.
I'm not.
Okay,
No.
hold on.
What?
Can we refocus the conversation, Harry? Ask the specific question.
That's what I'm saying.
And we
let me finish this.
And we will simply answer it.
Let
Are
me
you
finish
sure?
this point though. Let me finish this point though, and then let me finish this
and
point,
then we'll answer
and
it.
I'll ask
All right.
directly. All right. So
Let's
here's
let
the
him
thing.
finish. He's gonna keep. This is
It
his
is a
fifth time
fact.
repeating the same thing. Go ahead.
It is a fact that the belief was Shador was going to be drafted by the Giants because he had even Giants cleats on. Yes or no?
No, make your point. Don't answer your point. Don't question your point into this.
See what I'm saying?
No,
All
no.
right. So the point is,
make your point.
okay, so my point is that even Shedeur was the first round talent, but even if the Giants had picked him, he was not going to come in being the starting QB. Let's just keep it a buck. He was not, because they already had other QBs that they had established that they were going to have. So
Hearsay. We
that's
don't care about hearsay. That's not the point of this conversation. You're stretching the stuff. It's simple, DC. You're missing it.
No, it's not. The point,
Okay, now
the premise.
can I refocus it? Since you made the point?
The premise I'm trying to make is that if he had, and everything had been went the way that it was projected that Mel Kiper, that all of them said is that even if he had went there, he was not going to be the starter.
That's false.
That's what I'm saying.
That is
no, that's not false.
That is
they
false.
would not draft him to be the starter.
I'm a New York Giants fan. I live in New York, and I know for a fact they don't have a starting quarterback.
They weren't going to draft, but understand what I'm saying is they didn't draft Jackson Stark to be the starter, and they were not going to draft Shedeur.
Trash. He is not a Shedeur. I don't want to go there because you're going to
agree with that now.
You're going to draw me into this situation.
Hold on. But see now you'll hear where I'm coming from. Is that we can't sit here and say Shedeur is a first round talent and then call Jackson Dart a trash when he was projected to be one too. We can't do that.
First round talents are not the same, right? We do understand.
No,
once we agree.
Cam Newton is totally different than a Jackson Dart. Both of them were drafted in the first round.
Agree.
So there are two.
Jalen Daniels is not a Jackson Dart, right? So, but the idea is,
but Shedeur ain't either.
But that's what I said. Perspective matters, right?
Yes.
We first agree that when you draft somebody in the first round, your idea of the first round draft pick is that this person is good enough to lead my team, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we just use that premise and just stay right there. Let's hover right there. Let's not go nowhere else. Don't make it about nothing else, please. If you can do that for me, right?
Harry, is it fair to say that yes, you think they may lead the team, but they're not ready to do that year one? Is that a fair assessment as well?
That is correct.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good. So how you treat them when they come into your house, you would treat them accordingly. Is that right? I gotta slow walk this. Is that right? Is that how you treat a first round talent as if you were preparing them to lead your program?
Yes.
DC said yes, but he's like, oh gosh. Phil, what says you? Is the baby crying?
What was the question again? I'm sorry. I'm trying to multitask. I'm trying to change a diaper right now.
Okay. How you treat your first round when they come into your building is that you would start preparing them to eventually lead your program, whether it's going to be year number 1 or 2, correct?
Yeah, you're going to I can't remember the word off the top of my head, but groom. You're going to groom them to be the number one guy. However, they still may not get the lion's share of snaps. They still may not get favorable treatments, but there are going to be little things that happen to let the team know that, hey, this is the guy we're expecting to be leading us in the future.
That's where I'm at. Okay. So if we arrive to that conclusion, right? And you are a Cleveland Browns and you have that first round talent, your mindset is that we got to steal. We got a first round talent, right? In our house. And you're telling me that they should not treat him like a first rounder, then that's where my argument is. And I'm trying to say, hey guys, let's treat this like a first round talent. Let's not treat it like we got a 5th round pick, but let's treat it like we got a first round talent in house. And I'm getting pushback, and then you want to go back to the, oh no, but why did it choose him as a 5th rounder? Blah, blah, blah. I said, no, we come to the conclusion that we as a Browns organization believe we got a big steal. We got a big discount. So if that's the case and we got a big discount, then we treat him like the first round talent that we believe that he is. We're not going back to that whole 5th round situation. We're just treating it according to the first round talent that we believe that he is. So that means that we're not playing around with getting him stuck on NFL brain think. NFL brain think meaning like, oh, fifth rounders don't get this amount of snaps. Fifth rounders don't usually get first team reps. Jackson Dart is getting first round. He's getting first team reps. So yeah, we start treating Shedeur and grooming him like a first round talent that we believe he is by giving him the first team reps, getting him ready. Slowly but surely, he's going to be taking over. Isn't that what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying. That's what
you're also agreeing to. You say yes.
But because of the fact you're trying. See, this is what I'm gonna say to you. This is what I'm gonna say to you. Okay, this is where we get to a point because we have the arguments where we're saying, okay, we ain't looking at the pick. We're saying Shedeur is the best QB in the room already. So therefore, I'm going to give him all the reps, and I'm not only going to I'm going to give him the preference because this is where he should be. And as a matter of fact, I should be treating him like my franchise QB. Is that yes or no? Yes or no?
No, that's nothing close to what I just said.
Okay, so then let me ask
you
this.
Even close.
Then how many?
Phil just told you that sometimes your guy is probably not gonna start until year number 2, but you still are gonna be grooming him. And I agree to that premise. I said, yeah. So when I set it up like that, now you come back and you throw that in there. Isn't that kind of weird?
What I'm gonna ask you is this. Okay, let's just go with that because we're not gonna get here because listen, we
got here very slowly.
Love
we all understood where we at. You're there too. You agree that he is the first round talent. You agreed to that. We got there slowly. We didn't rush it. We did not rush out anything like that. We got there together. You agreed to get here together. So now why is this so hard for you to think about the way that you would treat that first round talent, not the 5th round pick, but for you to treat that first round talent the way that we both agree, or all 3 of us agree to?
No, what I'm trying to sit here and say to you is this. All right. Well, anyway, because I'll say this and then I got a question for you. If I'm a coach or whatever it is, I'm still gonna run my process. I'm still gonna run my process because if this truly is a first rounder, it will be evident he will beat everybody out by the end of the count.
But it has been evident in the OTAs and everything else.
Okay, so at this point, then, if that's what you believe,
what do you mean? I believe. If you're the coach and you've been seeing that, why is it that you're using my eyes? Why you can't use your own daggone eyes? What happened to your eyes? What happened to your eyes? You're the cop. You're supposed to see everything. What happened? What's wrong with your eyes? DC, what the heck is wrong with your eyes, bro? What have you been seeing?
Because my eyes can see an open container, but I still haven't proven that this person is drunk. Do you see what I'm saying? We got a lot of evidence that says he is a first round pick. But we also know if we're going to look at data that a lot of people who were picked in the first round weren't necessarily first round picks or NFL QBs, but we believe Shedeur is. I believe that.
So DC,
now I'm going to ask you.
No, stop right there.
Yes.
Let's pause it right there. Let's pause it right there. Here is where I put the icing on this cake right here. I started this whole conversation with just giving you an opportunity to just slow walk it to the point where we can both agree. And we have come to a point where, remember my first accusation, I said that
he was the first round pick.
No. My accusation against you was that you don't believe that Shedeur is a first round talent. You lean more on the pick. I'm coming back to that, and I'm doubling back to that because of how you defend, how you say Shedeur is a first round pick. Because the way that we determine, or when we agree that somebody's a first round pick, then we cannot say the way that Cleveland is treating him is like a first round pick talent.
Because they picked because Cleveland picked him at the 5th round. That's what I'm saying to you.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's my whole argument. I'm saying that if you and I believe that he's a first-round talent, right? Then, and if Cleveland was on the same mindset that he is a first-round talent, they would be grooming him as a first-round talent. Cleveland is not treating him as such. You don't understand?
I understand what you're saying, but I
Cleveland is
also
treating him like a
understand
first-round pick. They're not
what
treating
I'm
him like a
saying to you
first-round
is
talent.
this.
There's two different things
They're
going on here.
treating him.
They're treating him like a
It
fifth-round
is.
pick, not treating him like a first-round talent. Does that make
Yes, and
sense?
guess what? It does make sense. You're saying he's a first round
Right.
talent, but they treat him like a fifth round pick. Guess who gets to determine that? Not CU fans, not DC. Browns get to determine that.
Well, yeah,
Don't they?
obviously we know that because the NFL has specific rules. So what I've been trying to tell you this whole time is, me and Phil, we agreed that Cleveland has their quarterback in-house. We agreed that Cleveland is going to fumble this opportunity. They don't know how to handle their Jalen Daniels. They don't know how to handle their Tom Brady. They don't know how to handle the their gift that have been given to them in the fifth round. They don't know how to handle that. So my whole thing, the whole reason why I'm talking like this is trying to tell you that Cleveland is a terrible organization that does not know how to handle the gift. It's like God give you a gift. He give you a beautiful woman. You know, maybe she's missing one or two teeth, and you don't know to just take her to the dentist and and just and just
got him a Delilah, okay.
Right. God gave you, a beautiful woman that maybe she, you're a toes guy and she's missing one toe. And you just supposed to just help her to give her like a prosthetic toe, and then she'll be complete for you.
Hold on, real quick. Is that a toe guy at Coach Sanders? Is that a jab at Coach Sanders?
Oh no, that was incidental. That was a miss incident. No.
Yes, it is, Phil.
Okay,
Yes, it is. He's trying to say that's why Tracy left. That's why Tracy left, because Tracy like, I need a man with all his toes. I don't need a man with it. That's why he's trying to say. I know.
One thing we're not gonna do, we're not gonna slander Deion LaJuan Sanders on this channel. We're not gonna do that.
That's right.
I'm just making sure.
That's right.
Let me stick with the two teeth missing. Let's say you a teeth guy, you like all those pearly whites. God give you a beautiful woman. She can take care of kids. She loves you. She will make food for you. She will do everything you're asking. She's very submissive, like an old school woman, like Big Mama used to be, right? Mm-hmm. But she's missing those two teeth. And they happen to be on the one on this side, and they're close to the front. When you smile, it's obvious that, dang, girl. But if you put in those little caps, you see how beautiful she is, and then she comes with all of these characteristics. All you gotta do is just plug in those little caps, but you can't get over that. You can't bring yourself to get over that, like that she didn't have her natural teeth, so you get rid of her. I'm just saying that Cleveland does not know how to deal with their gift, because the gift is never complete when it comes from God.
Right, but here's the thing.
God allows you to see the beauty within and then treat her as such. So you're treating your beautiful woman with the two teeth missing. You're treating her like she's an ugly girl, but it's just two teeth. I mean, like, how hard is it to put in two caps? So Shedeur is your guy. He was just drafted late because of whatever reason, but treat him like you're supposed to treat him.
No, you treat him like you drafted him.
So you treat him like he's missing two teeth and he's ugly.
I treat him like I drafted him, and then once them teeth get fixed and stuff like that, and you've done it, then I put you there. This is the point I'm trying to say.
Another man stepped in and said, I'll take your two teeth missing. I love you just the way you look, girl. Let's go over here. It's too late. You want to wait until I get myself all fixed up? You don't want to help me get fixed up? Okay, then fine. It's good. Johnny's going to come and snatch her right up and get those two caps that she needed, and now she's all good. And she's
But Harry,
hold on real quick, DC. I got to get this joke off real quick. This ain't Chubb Rock. We ain't got to treat him right. We ain't trying to hit it. And for the old school cats, you understand the joke. We ain't gotta treat them right. Go
You're
ahead,
right,
DC.
but see, and you're right, but the point I'm saying is
saying they're gonna
this.
lose him. They're gonna lose Shedeur, and
This
then
is
he's gonna go somewhere, and
this is the point.
he's gonna be the Shedeur that we all the machete uncles and aunties know that he
But
is.
hold on,
He's
but
gonna
hold
go
on,
over there, and he's gonna
but
be
hold
there
on,
because you're fumbling the
but
bag.
hold
You're
on,
gonna fumble this bag,
hold
Cleveland.
on. Hold on, but see, I'm not gonna sit here and say Cleveland ain't gonna fumble, but we got nuances. What I'm saying is this: it do you not realize how you pretty much have just jacked yourself up if you get in there and say, I done made these moves for I'm paying Flacco. I pulled Flacco off the couch. I done traded for
I don't
Pickett.
know why you
I
bringing
went in
Flacco in this
third
conversation. Flacco doesn't
because
matter.
this does matter whether CU fans want to admit it or not. That's the pushback
What
I'm giving.
Flacco
Is
matter?
that
Flacco doesn't
Flacco
matter. Flacco's not their
Flacco
future.
Flacco
He's
does
does matter
40 years
because
old.
he's
matter.
one.
If
No,
Flacco plays
Flacco
football
does
past
matter.
matters.
Hey, Harry,
2025,
he's one
okay,
more.
listen.
He's one
If
more
Flacco
hurdle.
plays,
He's one more hurdle that Shedeur has to get over this season if he wants to start.
remember,
So
This
Flacco
this
does matter.
remember what y'all said in the beginning. I'm trying to stay true to the argument. I'm not saying
what Phil said,
I'm not right.
not
I'm
me.
not trying to take football in its totality and apply it to this situation. I said if we take the idea of Shedeur's not supposed to play in the first year, then we're taking Flacco at value and say, okay, he will give us those 9 games. Keep in mind, Flacco has not played more than 9 games since 2017. So, okay, Flacco will give us those 9 games, but that's all he's good for. So we're not counting this 40-year-old guy as our future quarterback. This conversation is about our future quarterback. So Flacco, Pickett, those are not our future. We know that for a fact. So we're not worried about that argument. You're trying to infuse a football argument, and I'm trying to contain this argument right where the perimeters that we set. I'm trying to contain it within the perimeters that we set. If we just have a general football conversation, then fine. Then you can throw Deshaun, you can throw Achilles in here.
But you're trying to say
bring
this,
Achilles.
right?
Throw him in this conversation. Then we got to talk about everything.
But see, you're trying to set the conversation where Cleveland was looking for a franchise QB
I
and
did
a
not
great
say
QB.
that. No, that's not one of the perimeters. I'm trying to keep it within the perimeters that we have set. I gave you a girl analogy with 2 teeth.
You did.
You were begging you're begging for a wife. God gave you a girl. She's only missing 2 teeth.
Okay, so we're gonna use
Shedeur
the girl
is
one.
a rookie. That's 1 teeth. That's 1 teeth. Let me give you the football analogy, the football equivalent to the 2 teeth missing. Shedeur's a rookie. That's 1 teeth. He needs to learn some stuff. The second one, he was drafted in the 5th round. That's the second tooth, right? So now that's what you're dealing with. However, those are the 2 teeth that I'm counting. What other teeth are you counting?
What I'm trying to sit here and say is, if you look and see what the Browns were doing, they wasn't trying to find their girl. They don't get their girl tomorrow.
I'm saying that's fine.
What I'm saying is,
you're moving the conversation to something else.
No, I'm not. I'm about to break it down. What I'm saying is, the Browns was just trying to get something to go home with tonight. They're not looking for something to go down the aisle with.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. Fine. I'm giving you that. You're trying to move the conversation. I say I'm going to give you that, DC. Let's say you got a hooker. Okay, whatever. You just want to smash for the night. Okay, I'm giving you everything that you want to throw at me.
Right.
You wanted a nice smash because you've been dry for a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, but let me just go there. Okay,
what is going on?
I know, Phil. I'm trying to help DC. DC's the one that's trying to move it. Let's say that's the case, right, DC? You agree to that, right?
That's right. That's right.
You got yourself on. Okay.
Right. They don't call it Pound Town for nothing. Continue.
Fine. I meet you there, and I say fine. What you meant for one night smash? You've heard the phrase where God said, "What you meant for evil, God turned out for good." You heard that, right?
Of course I've heard that.
Okay, thank you, DC. You're a man of God. I pray you read that part. So what you meant for a one night smash, God said, this idiot, right? Like the Cleveland Browns, these idiots, they don't know what I'm about to do for them. He gave you more than a one night smash. Yes, she was missing. She was a one. You thought she was a one night smash because she has 2 teeth missing. But in the day, when you woke up, you realized like, oh shoot, we got a lot of things in common. Wow, you're the full package.
Basically, what you're saying.
I didn't realize that you were not just a one night smash. I realized that I finally got somebody that I can hold a conversation. You're very smart. You're educated. I didn't know that. Why are you working at a strip club, girl? I'm saying that's the situation you found yourself in. You were not on some type of, oh, let me go get a wife. You went to a strip club to get a smash, right? You went to the 5th round to just get a serviceable quarterback. Are you understanding where I'm going with this? You went to the 5th round to get a one night smash. Let's see how he works out. But then you got a Shedeur at that 5th round, and now he's a rookie, and he got a few things to learn, but you realize like, oh, shoot, he has a lot of the qualities that I'm looking for in a franchise quarterback. So now I'm not going to be treating her like a one-night smash anymore. Now I want to ask her more questions. I want to dig a little deeper. Hey, you believe in God? Because I believe in God. Like, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I just happen to, I've been backsliding a little bit, but, and I needed some money, so I became a stripper. Oh, whoa.
This
so I'm just saying.
is really vivid. Like,
I
you
know,
might know what you're talking about.
Phil,
it
wasn't me. It was DC. I'm trying to meet him where his mind is at.
I'm just saying what I'm saying. I ain't saying
My
what I'm
mind,
saying,
really, truth be told, is that this for me is it's that you can sit there and have the good time that night. But what I'm going with, and see, you trying to just after you didn't have the post, clarity, you trying to make a decision. I'm gonna wait in the morning. Now, if I get up, I'm sleeping, I smell, and I look over there and I see she got my t-shirt on, cooking eggs and bacon. I wake up, yeah, I got your coffee, baby. Then that's when the conversation finna change. But I'm not finna do it in OTAs when we resting around the bed at night. I'm gonna wait until after training camp. Yeah.
No, DC, you woke up.
I'm not doing it now. I'm doing DC, it if I wake up DC, and smell the eggs.
You're not. We didn't get to training camp yet, because you waking up is different from training camp. You waking up is OTAs. That's you waking up. That's OTAs.
Not from no OTAs. No, man. Come on now. Stop. Let's go ahead and kill this right now.
It's the night after. What are you talking about?
Y'all stop.
OTAs
man,
is you waking up.
Ain't nobody done ever won a starting job off no freaking OTAs. Come on
No,
now.
not the starting job. No. See,
no.
DC, listen.
No.
DC. Okay, DC, you please listen to me. DC. Not the starting job. Why you can't just understand? You're not gonna marry this girl when you wake up. No, we're not talking about that. When you woke up, that's the OTAs. You saw her cooking those eggs. You're still not gonna marry her, but that's the understanding. Like, oh, this girl got some qualities. So you woke up. She still got her 2 teeth missing. Those are the red flags that you start tucking under the rug. Like, I don't care about that. Okay, 2 teeth. You woke up but she was cooking. She don't clean your room. She don't did a few things. She's throwing passes that you can catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the OTAs.
That's training camp to me.
No, that's not training camp.
OTAs.
No.
OTAs is something I'm not finna say on here because I am a believer. But the bottom line is that the night has just getting started on the OTA. The OTA.
Phil got a Brazilian. He got a Brazilian with yoga pants on for ChatGPT, so I can't even ask Phil. He gonna say something wild.
But here's what I'm saying is this. All right, here's what I'm ultimately saying.
Can we agree that waking up is OTAs? At least?
No. I'm not agreeing with that at all. Because nobody has ever won a star job or got moved up in OTAs.
Said, eggs taste great.
They do, Peter. They do.
Wait, what do you mean eggs taste? Okay, just plain eggs. Wait a minute. No, DC, you got to agree that when you wake up, that has to be OTAs and minicamp. Like, come on.
No.
Like, I'm not
No,
saying you're gonna marry this girl. You're not making her a
no.
starter. You're not making her wifey number one. You're not doing none of that. But I'm saying
OTAs is making
when you
out.
wake up
OTAs is
and you
not
realize this
eggs.
girl got some, some qualities. She don't clean your room. She don't made you breakfast. You realize that's when Shedeur's throwing passes. He's accurate. You're starting to realize that, wow, this girl has some qualities that I want to further investigate.
But Harry, what I'm trying to sit
That
here and
happens
say
at
to you,
OTAs. You're
but
not
hold
giving
on,
her the
Harry.
starting job.
No, Harry, check this out. Everybody and their mama from all his time playing college, which is the part of the draft process, and doing the draft process, the throwing, the things that he did up in Colorado. Anybody in their right mind already knew he can throw the ball.
DC, what the
What
heck do
you're
you think a
st-
first rounder is? I mean, what are we talking about
but
here?
what I'm
What do
saying
you
to
think
you,
a first round draft
because
pick makes up?
what
What do
I'm
you think makes up a first round draft pick?
what I'm saying
What are we
to
talking
you
about?
guys is that but see, here's what I'm saying. This is that now I realize what the
DC, what
friction
are the
point is.
qualities for a first round? What are you supposed to do? What do you use to choose somebody for the first round? That's what we all been knowing. That's what everything he did that you said we know and everybody and their mama know is the reason why we believe he's a first round draft talent.
But what I'm saying to you is this, okay? The hang up we're getting in
Is there a new
is that
criteria for first round?
no, what y'all are, what Colorado fans, what some of you are doing, you're trying to put too much weight on OTAs, and that has never been how
No,
this goes.
that's
Never.
an incorrect
Uh-uh.
statement. That's an
Uh-uh.
incorrect statement.
But you're basically saying now they didn't see what he does in OTAs, right? He should move further up. No,
No,
not with the
see, that's what I'm
OTAs.
saying. See,
Not with
I'm
OTAs.
glad that we're
No.
live and we can
No.
hash this out. We've exhausted this
Yes.
conversation. I'm glad we're live because DC,
Right.
somebody who's a representative for the machete uncles and the machete aunties, I'm their representative. And thank God I have a channel to be able to speak for them. I give them a voice because they get stuck in comments and people like you dominate the stuff. You dominate the conversation because you're using different formulas to incorporating it into the conversation. I'm giving you very specific parameters for the conversation, but you're not being genuine with the parameters that I'm giving you. You're moving the parameters. I'm here live trying to keep you within the parameters. Because
but your parameter.
Let me put it in filmmaker terms. When I do this, right, DC, when I do this, right, that means that I'm trying to figure out where what my camera is seeing so that I'm going to film everything that's within that camera. Any extras or actors that are outside of this frame, I'm not worried about. I'm only worried about everything in this here frame. That's why I do this as a director. I do this so that I can realize where I'm framing. So you're trying to bring everything outside of that frame into the conversation. And I'm like, my brain is telling me DC is not understanding how this conversation is going.
I am understanding
you are using everything outside of this frame to frame your conversation. I said, DC, we're not doing that today. I'm giving you the frameworks.
Because you're looking at it as a film director. I look at things as a soldier. So I look at everything. I ain't gonna look at I'm not looking at that square.
I can
or that
come to your soldier. Okay, this is what I understand about soldiers and communication. This is because we use army communication in filmmaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we communicate on the walkie-talkie, I said, does anybody have eyes on number one? That's Denzel, that's Robin Williams, that's whoever is number one. That's the number one actor. Okay, when that person communicates back to me, they will say, yes, I have eyes on number one. And then I would say, what's their location and what's their ETA? You cannot communicate back to me the way that you would do that in regular people talking, because the information that you give me is life or death. It's millions of dollars on the line. So we use military communication to go back and forth. So if you're saying that I should bring it to you as a filmmaker, we are using the same thing, because every decision that we're talking, everything that we're talking is about millions of dollars. Yours is life or death, correct?
Millions of dollars and loss of debt. Yes, right.
Okay, fine.
Absolutely.
Because if you blow up a tank that costs billions of dollars, you're losing a lot of money and life or death, right? Okay, so here we are. You and I are on the same page, and I was like, DC, listen, if you got eyes on number one, Denzel Washington, what is the ETA and where is he coming? And when can you, what's the ETA and when can you bring him? When can you start walking him? That's a pause in there?
You said when he's coming.
Oh, when he's
come on now.
Come on. When can you start walking him to set? Where is he at? The location is he's in the makeup chair. The second part of that communication is in 10 minutes. So I said, okay, copy that. Once I said, okay, copy that, you cannot change that information without coming back on the walkie-talkie and saying, change that. It's now 20 minutes because I'm depending on you for that 10 minutes you gave me that you're going to start walking Denzel. So I'm not coming back to you to change that, to say anything different. I'm expecting him to be on set in 10 minutes. So here we come back to this. We said, DC, what are the parameters of this conversation we're having? The parameters are, we're not talking about the pick. We're talking about the talent. How do you treat the talent versus the pick? The pick was unfortunate. It's a steal. That's how we're treating it. The pick is a steal. We got him a steal. How do we treat that steal as a first-round talent? Not like the pick. You don't want to do that. So you're not doing military. You're doing.
Yes, I am.
No, you're
How
not.
You can't tell me. Yes, I am. I'll tell you why. Because
if I tell you we're not dealing with the pick, we're dealing with the talent. The way you deal with the pick and the talent are two different things. You got a steal. You got a Jalen Daniels. You got a Cam Ward.
You did not get no Jalen Daniels. Now, come on now. That's why we get off the rail.
You don't understand that?
This is why we get off the rail. It's that because we do this thing where we start taking these exceptional examples and making them try to fit here. It doesn't.
What I'm saying to you, got a first round talent.
What I'm saying to you though is this, because here's the thing. I still support. No, I'm not stuck on the pick.
My conclusion is we're not gonna do another round of this. You're stuck on the pick, and
I'm not stuck on the pick. Okay, then if that's fair,
that you are stuck on the pick. You're not stuck on the pick.
If that's fair,
you're not willing to follow the talent. You're stuck on the pick.
If you're gonna make that assessment about me, then I can make this assessment: is that it doesn't matter what anybody says. We're gonna funnel this conversation into a point where Shedeur is the star of it. Not to a point where because you're looking at things when a filmmaker looks at it, you're looking at things from what I see in this lens. Battle space is not just horizontal, it's vertical. So you're asking me just to look at that. Now, the parameters, I will give you that. But then you saying is that at this point, and we're just focusing on talent and how it normally should go, doctrinally should go, the way it should be, you would be 100% right. But if we're sitting here having a conversation where I'm going to give you from my perspective, what I'm saying is that the Browns still have to run their process. And even if they have a steal, I would not make the total decision to put him there until I have gotten until I come to contact.
Let me give the girl a name.
DC.
Okay, go ahead, Phil.
I'm sorry. No,
okay, let's get the girl a name and then Phil will go. We're gonna call her Shaniqua. Go ahead, Phil.
So, DC, I just want to know, what do you think about the U.S. airstrikes on Iran's nuclear bases?
What?
Based off of your military knowledge.
No, you're throwing us in a whole nother trajectory. We can't.
I know, because I'm getting. Listen, okay. This is real talk. I am tired of talking about Shedeur. He's a 5th round draft pick. Let him be. Everything is on what it's going to be. It is what it is. Like, he is a good player. If he is who most people think he is going to be all right, and he is going to earn, at the very least, the 2nd string, at worst 3rd string job for Cleveland. He's going to be all right. So we can talk until we turn blue, but at the end of the day, Shedeur got to go out there and do the job. And if he is who he thinks we think he is, he's going to get there. Full stop.
If he is,
that's how I feel.
So that's how I feel. But that part, that last part where you are at, I think that's what this whole argument has been about. If he is who we think he is, where each person understands who they think he is where I've been arguing this entire time. I don't believe that we all are on the same page when it comes to who we think he is. And I was just simply trying to identify and describe where I think he is. And I'm accusing DC that he and I are not agreeing on who we think Shedeur is. That is
But
it.
if DC is a hater, if DC is the hater of the galaxy, why would you expect him to agree with you on anything?
No, remember now, I wasn't trying to expect him to agree with me. I was just trying to hold him accountable for where he is at, but he's not even trying to agree with
No, I
himself
respect it. Again, I
that he
respect
is
it.
where he's at. If he's a hater, just take the hater, just say, yes, I'm a hater, and I don't believe he's a first-round talent. But
No,
wait,
that's not the truth.
just wait. Let me finish it, and then you can pick it up. If you don't agree that he's a first-round talent, right, and you still believe that he's a fifth-round draft pick, which indicates that that's his talent level, then stand on business on that. But don't sit here and argue for you didn't even come on for 3 hours. Don't stay here and argue for 45 minutes against yourself because you're stating one thing and you're saying another thing. On one hand, you believe he's a first-round talent, but you're arguing that he is a fifth-round pick. And
Right. Right,
and you're
because
arguing that he's a fifth-round pick, and that is indicative of his talent.
no, what I'm sitting here saying is this, and
Don't say
sums
it
it
again,
up.
man. You've been saying it all day.
No, because what you're trying to say is that because I'm also a fan of the process. The Browns made that decision.
That's
The
outside of my
Browns.
frame. You're
Okay,
outside of
well,
my frame.
okay, then to get well, can we expand your frame?
No, I can never. I
All
got
right,
money
then.
on the
Well, put it
line.
like this. Well,
Okay,
put it like this.
Hollywood is paying. They're paying me $50
All
million
right, then.
for this
Well,
movie.
then
So I
that's the
cannot
case.
expand this frame. I'm right here. I gotta get every shot in. I've already done my pre-production. Every shot is already framed. I
Well,
cannot finish the frame.
if we gonna do that, if we gonna use your frame of reference, pun intended, then we might. Then at the end of the day, is you're right. I did waste my time. You absolutely right. Within the
I've been trying
parameters
to
that you
tell you this the
use,
entire time.
go ahead.
Stand on business on where you stand. Don't argue outside of your own trajectory. Don't argue outside of your own framework. You literally came on here and you argue outside of your own framework. You are not a believer of his first round talent. You understand you are okay with where he was drafted as a fifth rounder, and
No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay with where he was drafted.
with love as a non-contracted producer. Can we wrap this up? Because I don't know how well this is going to be for a rewatch.
Yeah.
Oh, this is easy for me. This
about.
easy for me. It's easy for me. Shedeur has first round talent. I respect also processes, but within the parameters that Harry B, also known as BWB, hint hint, then at the end of the day is Shedeur should be getting the majority of the reps, and he's 100% right within the parameters of what he
That is
said.
not
Go
the
ahead.
parameter.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
No,
Let's just go ahead and stop this crap. Let's stop this crap right now. And the bottom line is,
Phil, I ask you a question. I'll ask you one question. Is that what I said today, Phil? Is that what you heard me say today, Phil?
he should be treated like a first round. He should be treated like a first round talent.
Let Phil. Is that what you heard me say, Phil?
I don't think you act like he. Hold on, let me start back over. Let me get my words
yes,
right.
it's yes, Phil.
Yes. Stop trying to influence him.
Stop.
Stop trying to influence him. Let him stand on his own
words.
words.
As I possibly can. I don't think Harry is saying that Shedeur should get preferential treatment. However, I do feel that some of the zeal and fervor that Harry has behind Shedeur being
don't do that. I said, what did you hear me say? I didn't say.
Okay,
tell me what you heard me say.
Okay. Honestly, based off what you're saying, no, you're not saying Shedeur should get preferential treatment. I don't think that's what you're saying. Full stop.
That's it, DC. So you're making stuff up, DC. I'm not trying to say anything that you're saying. Nothing to the fact that you're saying Shedeur should get, because what you're trying to
You're
do is
saying he should be treated as a first round pick,
no, not a first
which
round pick, a first
you
round talent.
you're not saying he should get preferential treatment, which means he didn't earn it. What you're saying is he deserves the same treatment that a first round talent should get, which would be a treatment better than the rest.
Not treatment better than the rest, because the rest don't matter. You should understand that you have your, what did I
Then
say,
you just
Shaniqua?
said you just
Did I
said
did
my
I call
point. Then
Phil?
you said
Phil,
that
what
nobody
was
don't
the name
matter
that
but
I gave the
Shador.
girl?
The
Phil,
rest don't matter but Shador, right? That's what you just said, right?
Phil, no. What did I say the girl's name was? Shaniqua?
Something like that, yeah. We
Okay,
just call
so
her Shanae. It's easy to remember if we say
not
Shanae.
Shanae. I don't want to take what's the name?
Martin.
Shaniqua. Let's call her Shaniqua. I said, yes, you got DC. I even used I met you where you were. You said you wanted to bring in all these one night smash stuff. I said, fine. I'm
Right.
giving you all of that. I said, if we're taking the reality of what happens and we're going to use the framework that I'm using, then I can meet you halfway. I can say you're right, where yes, he was drafted 5th round. So, but if your intentions was a one night smash, you got this girl to just, that was your intention was that, and the equivalent to that is the 5th round draft pick, right? The one night smash, that was your 5th round draft pick. You didn't have no intentions of keeping this girl for a long time, right? You were just gonna try her out, and if she didn't work out, then you're not gonna. This is not your girl anyway. I met you at that place, and then I brought it back to my framework and said, okay, fine, you did that, but then you realize when she started cooking you those eggs, she started throwing passes. She started doing stuff that you would think that a 5th rounder would not do. Where everybody started saying, well, wait a minute. This guy is, he's looking like he's their guy. Everybody in the media is saying, whoa, this guy, he's pretty good. Like, he ain't no 5th rounder. So once you come to that conclusion and she's cooking eggs, now you want to give her a little bit better treatment because you were just about to tell her to get out. Right? You telling her, like, look, you a one night stand, get out of my house, go do something else. But when you smell those eggs, and Peter Investor said eggs taste good, yeah, that was the most random thing. Peter Investor said eggs taste good. So I said, fine, okay, I'm meeting you again halfway. I said, fine. Once you saw those eggs, you're like, okay, and you started seeing those passes flying, and he's good in the organization. A lot of the stuff that they were saying about him is not true, even though we got the 2 tickets on the board. So, but you started looking at that, you like, okay, fine. I think she deserves better treatment than the way I was gonna treat her, like a 5th rounder, like a one night stand. So I'm gonna give her more attention. So that attention translates into let's start preparing him, because she looks like a keeper. So now let's start preparing her. Hey, more conversation, more this, more that. Hey, come and meet the boss's daughter. Come and do this. I start treating her like she might stick around. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been saying this entire time.
Harry, I just want to say this real quick.
Yeah.
I love you. You my good Christian brother. And I appreciate everything you do for me because you keep me on the mark.
Uh-huh.
However, this whole analogy that you've been using sounds like you've lived a life.
No. I'm a film. Look, that was DC's. I did not bring this up. Okay.
Listen, hey, I've lived a life and I'm not ashamed of it. And I think you need to live in your truth as well right now.
You're not gonna put this on me. You're not putting this on me.
I don't want Keisha to get mad, right?
I'm well read enough to understand how this stuff works. And I write scripts. I can write this movie. This movie is easy for me to write. Okay? If you're bringing a girl home for a one night smash, come on now. Any grown man would tell you, yo, you're gonna tell her to get up out of here. I've seen enough movies where a dude brought a girl home and he was like, yo, get the stepping.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I just met DC where he was at so that I can explain my point of view so he can understand that I'm not saying everything that he's saying about Shedeur. Oh my gosh, let him get all the reps, do this, and he's the man. No, I'm just saying, bro, you brought the girl home. You feel me? You brought her home. You realized she was missing 2 teeth, but hey, the girl can cook. Her eggs taste good, according to Peter Investor. Eggs with no salt or blend. I don't know where he said eggs taste good without. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like that's the analogy. I use your own analogy to debunk some of the stuff that you thought that a lot of the machete uncles and aunties say and do, to say we're not that shallow as you think we are. Pun intended, right?
I got a real question for you, Harry. That's not related to football, and it's nothing like dramatic. Do you put salt or sugar in your grits?
Oh Lord,
he don't eat grits.
I don't do sugar in grits. I do cheese. So more salt. I do salt. I treat it like it's rice ish. I don't do it. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat sugar rice. So
no,
I'm more like I'm more like, you know.
But check this out, Harry. Check this out.
DC, before you go, before you say your statement, do you understand my analogy and how
I understand your analogy, but I'm gonna sit here and say how conversationally, it's that, think about it. Nobody's dissing the Colorado community, but you do have machetes, which means y'all ready to chop something. If it don't go your way, you're ready to chop. All I'm saying is this.
That's because we know what we got. Y'all don't know what we got. We know what we got. Y'all the one that have a hard time believing it. So we come with our machete and our Bible.
It ain't a hard time believing it.
We're praying for you, but we chopping ears off.
But what the pushback is? What the pushback is this? The pushback is this. Okay.
I love these conversations.
Yes.
By the way,
it isn't.
I don't care about the playback value. Right. I just love it.
It isn't that Shedeur isn't good.
You said that a billion times, bro.
Again, but again,
it's almost to a point. Here comes the butter. It ain't butter.
But see, that's what I'm saying, though. But see, Harry, that's what I'm saying is that with the Colorado community, it's very binary. Either you have to be way over here with Shedeur saying, you know, he's this, or you have to, or you're labeled as being over here as I don't like him, I ain't feeling it. But you got to sit here and understand.
I'm here to understand that that's not true.
But that's how it comes off as.
No,
that's how it
listen,
comes off as.
It's because when we get in an argument with people like you, and we only have a short window, most arguments happen in chat rooms, correct?
That is correct.
In chat rooms, you don't have 3 hours to give an analogy. You don't have a long time to really, you know, iron everything out the way that we do when we get on these lives. I'm their spokesperson. TLP Sports Club. I am the spokesperson of the machete and uncles. I literally came up with the terminology. Okay, so I'm the spokesperson, so I get to speak for them. And then when they're in the chat, they also get to, you know, to confirm, yes, Harry is wrong, or no, Harry's wrong, or yes, Harry's right. So we get a live interaction so people can understand. I'm their spokesperson. That's telling you the way that you're saying that they are is wrong. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you do not have a true grasp of how we look at Shedeur versus how you and others look at Shedeur. We don't
pause right there
the way you do,
but pause right there.
You're not all the way in like we are.
Pause for a second.
Yeah, all the way in. We got to pause on that.
That's true. That's true. I agree with that. But what you got to understand in my frame of record is I have been watching a team, one of the greatest teams, and I have seen more than three great coaches come through. Being a Bama fan, I've seen Bear Bryant, I've seen the Gene Stallings, I've seen the Saban years. So when y'all say things that you say the greatest and stuff like that, then you have to understand from my frame of reference, I done been watching great football. Well, I don't watch great SWAC football. Haven't gone to Alabama State.
Small group of people,
no, but hold on. For example, this. I can respect what Travis does as a receiver. Now he was phenomenal, but I don't sit here and
And
watch Devontae.
who threw him those balls?
Right, and I can respect Shedeur, but you also got to understand I don't watch Tua and Devontae Smith, and them two groups, one is greater than the other. It is what it is. It doesn't mean that Shedeur and Travis aren't great. It doesn't mean that Travis didn't do a great job. But when I'm sitting up here seeing some of the people like Julio Jones, when I can sit there and go down the list of, I'm talking about like the Ingrams, I'm talking running back, all that kind of stuff. I'm seeing how Saban did stuff. It's not to a point that I don't have love for Colorado, but you got to understand a lot of fans like myself have seen the Steve Spurriers, we've seen the Urbans, we've seen that. It's to a point where you can respect Shadeur's talent and all that, but then there's this thing to say this is the end all be all, and it ain't the end all be all.
But
It's
that's your
great,
assessment. Nobody over here on this side of the place is saying that.
but that's how y'all
You're
talk.
taking one or two people that you've probably heard who are all the
No,
way
I ain't
fanned
taking
out.
one or two people. No,
How
no,
many?
no, no, no,
Give
no,
me a
no, no,
number. Give me a
no,
number.
no, 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 no.
Majority?
I will. Let me tell you something.
Are
I
you
done
saying
seen.
majority?
I done watched this community since the Jackson State days, and it's. I would have to say it's at least 25% of them that rock like this. They haven't been really
But that's not
watching a
even
whole lot
that's
of.
not the majority. That's what I
That's why I
said.
said. That's why I
When
always
you
say
say
some.
25%, like okay, so you're not taking the majority, but I'm trying to speak for the
No, no,
majority.
not at all.
I'm speaking
Okay.
for the BWBs, the bandwagon buffs, and I'm speaking for the bandwagon Browns. The BWBs community is made up of, like, you take Wild Dog, you take Peter Investor, you take the Texas Truth, you take HC, I think his name is, sometime in the chat. You take Common Sense Buff. We're BWBs, we're bandwagon Browns, we're bandwagon Buffs. For the most part, we are level-headed, we're educated, we understand how football works. Some mixed up in us, like that 25% are aunties, machete aunties and uncles that are here for Shedeur. They're not here for the football per se.
But hold on one
So when
second,
you hear
Harry.
some of those people make their assessment and say, yes, Shedeur is the best, when you hear that, you take that to be all of us. You start making and framing your argument as we're crazy, we're this, we don't know that.
No. I said
And you take
25%,
all
but
of us, and you're
no,
making an
I
argument.
don't.
You're throwing that blanket on all of us.
But I would no. I say some, but I mean, let's
Oh,
just keep it a
bandwagon Brown.
buck.
Bandwagon Brown, you're new. I don't know your you just changed your what's the name?
But
Like
right, but
that
see,
name is new, a bandwagon Brown.
right, but Harry, I never say it's all. I always say some. Some not being majority.
But yeah,
It's
but your
less than a.
argument is always
But
Colorado
look,
fans.
right,
You
but go
never
look at.
say it.
I
Never
do say
pre.
some. I say some, and then here go the thing: the proof be in the chat. It's folks I done seen them. I just ain't responding to them, saying stuff that you would not say to a grown man in their face. But I understand that's part of sports and it's fun. But let's just keep it a buck. It is people out there that will say stuff like, for example, I have not dissed Shedeur not one time in there. I just said I've said that he is a first round talent. You can't get no higher than a first round talent,
No,
but
but
that
you don't
still ain't good
believe
enough.
that. My pushback on you
I
is
do
that you don't
believe that.
believe that.
I do believe that.
No, you don't. I've been trying to
Why
prove
would I
that
have
to you
said?
this entire conversation, that how you believe a first round talent for Shedeur is not the same what I believe first round talent is for Shedeur. You and I are not on the same agreement. I've been trying to prove that to you this entire day.
Right, because but
We
see,
don't believe in the same way. First round talent Shedeur, to me, is not what DC believes as first round talent Shedeur. You don't believe
right,
that.
But here's the thing.
You believe a part of that. You believe some aspect of what you're saying, but you don't argue it like that.
But if I've said here,
because don't you believe that he, like, Shedeur threw the ball to Travis Hunter? Don't you believe that Shedeur threw the ball to Jimmy Horn Jr.?
Yes.
Don't you believe that Shedeur was the one that made it possible for all of these other guys to be where they're at in the NFL?
Yes, and I also believe that Cam Ward was going to get drafted higher than Shedeur, and that's what happened.
Fine, but that's what I'm saying. So if we all believe that, then
but you didn't.
What they're doing and how they're being treated in the NFL, right? How they're being treated in the NFL if you pending the 5th round draft dance or whatever, the way they're being treated is the way Shedeur should be treated. But you're not talking that way. You're talking like he deserves to be a 5th rounder, and they're going to treat him like that.
No,
That's
I'm
how you're
saying that he
talking.
deserved it to be a 1st rounder, but should be treated like a 5th rounder at this point into training camp.
Can I just say this? None of this stuff matters. There are
It doesn't, but it's good for
there are millions of people that are about to be kicked off of Medicare and Medicaid because of this beautiful bill that just got signed.
In Africa, there's a lot of kids that are hungry. Okay, there's a lot of kids that are hungry. But listen, if you go to the barbecue today, if you go to the barbecue today, hey man, Cowboy 5, we don't use those language around here.
But see, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know who you are, Cowboy 5.
But see, that's what I'm talking about, Harry.
If you start throwing those words around, we're gonna kick you out of the chat. We don't do that around here.
But that's what I'm saying. Is that, like, for example,
but DC, just so you know, prior to Cowboy 5, ain't nobody said anything to you like that.
Oh, that ain't not that intense, but it's
right.
There,
but I'm
but
just saying, it's an argument that you don't get a lot of characters. You don't get enough characters, and you don't get enough time to make a full argument like I've laid out today. And I believe we got somewhere. Even though Phil is like he's over it, and Phil, you have to admit that we got to a whole nother point in this conversation today than we've ever gotten. I promise you we did, because I learned today that you are not on the same level of thinking about Shedeur that I'm on, and that a lot of the people that are in this community on. We're not on the same level.
Wait, hold on. You said that I'm not, or DC's not on the same level.
DC is not.
Okay.
Me and Phil can come to a point where we say, yes, we believe that Shedeur is their quarterback and they found their guy. They just need to change their mentality about him so that they can move forward with him. But DC cannot bring himself to that. It's very hard for him to accept that.
He's a hater. He's the hater.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't call you. Phil can call you a hater. I just say, DC, accept the fact that you are not resolute on where me and Phil stand at, and I would just respect it. But don't say two things. Don't be two-tongued, and don't be halfway. Don't be like, oh yeah, no, I believe what y'all believe, but then you argue the entire time for 45 minutes to an hour, 2 hours, whatever, around the thing that you don't believe. That's what I'm saying.
Here, listen, this is what's gonna happen. Me and DC gonna meet up at Baumhauer's in Montgomery. DC, you know what I'm talking about. We're gonna meet up in Montgomery, and we're gonna have a real conversation about Colorado one day. And I'm gonna FaceTime you so you'll see what the conversation is. But in this forum, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. DC ain't gonna let it go, and it is what it is.
Phil, you know, like one day, I know we all met on the internet, but one day I gotta be Peter investor. Peter said it's because
about them eggs.
Yo, this is comedy. This
but listen, though,
Peter said it's those dang eggs.
Is he talking about ovaries, or is he talking about chicken eggs? Which eggs?
No, remember the eggs that Shaniqua made for DC.
No, but it's a double entendre. So
I know what it is, but it's not. It's not.
I don't want none of them eggs. I don't want none of them other eggs.
Anything about ovary eggs. We said Shaniqua was cooking eggs.
I ain't trying to. I'm not talking about the eggs that have you sit up on a TV show. When it comes to little 4-month-old DC, I don't want that. Dr. I told you it wasn't mine. That baby look like me.
Having a newborn, I get it. Having a newborn, I get it. I jokingly tell my wife every day.
Peter Investor said those. He said that eggs taste good. So he ain't talking about no ovary eggs. Right? He said cooking eggs. Nah.
Right? I like a little bit of salt, pepper. I like my medium, no cheese.
Hey, cayenne and 1 cube.
The ones that eat cheese. So what?
Cayenne and 1 cube. Okay, and 3 eggs.
No. We don't need no cayenne, nothing. We need a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, medium.
I promise
in the Waffle House.
No African in this chat eat eggs like that. you put pepper on it. Like every African can tell you, you got to have pepper with your eggs. Sometimes you make pepper gravy and you have it with your eggs. Eggs is a
But no,
big deal.
I said a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, but we don't
No,
need
that's
all that
American.
extra stuff.
No. I already told y'all that y'all American are suspect. So no, not that American stuff. No salt
Okay.
and pepper. No.
So, okay, let me ask you this: cream of wheat or grits? Which one you going with?
Dang. If I'm African, I'm going with cream of wheat because that's back home. If I come to America and I experience grits, now it's grits. But
Harry, if I
cream
ever
of wheat.
meet you in person, I'm gonna step on your toe because I can't get with it. It's grits all day, point blank.
Hey,
No, but grits is an American thing. Grits is not in Africa.
But straight up, Phil,
Cream of wheat is in Africa.
because
No
I
grit.
had both. But if you want to talk about something that's great, that's got what you need for breakfast, Harry, right? Cream of wheat all day long.
Yeah, cream
I
of
mean,
wheat.
all day long.
That's an Africa. You'll get
So
cream of wheat in Africa,
over
but you don't get
oatmeal.
grits in Africa.
Put it like
So
this:
cream
I
of wheat
love
over
grits,
oatmeal.
but I would rock with cream of wheat. If it was for me, just I need something to eat that's better for you. Cream of wheat all
Yeah.
day.
So here's the thing. I've had cream of wheats before. My roommate in college was from Cleveland, so he was big on cream of wheat. I've had that before. I ain't got no issue with it. But
Yeah, but
if it's
Phil,
cream
you
of
are.
wheat,
So
but if
Phil,
it's cream
you
of
just
wheat
don't
or
like cream of
oatmeal,
wheat.
I'm gonna take oatmeal all day.
Yeah, but Harry, you gotta understand. See, the woman. The side note, notice I know this about Phil. See, we talk about taking the home woman from home from the club. Phil don't care. Phil will take a woman home who wig feel like Easter basket grass. He don't care.
But he
Hey,
kicking her.
hey,
But that's
DC,
with the intention of
I don't
kicking
need you
her
putting
out.
my business out
Morning.
on the chat like that. Okay, this is you ain't got to do me like that. Okay, I love you, but you ain't got to do me like that.
I know you ain't gotta put all his business out like that.
I cannot confirm or deny that statement.
Hey, look, but Phil's intention is to kick her out in the morning. Like he don't even wait till day break.
Get out. Hey,
See,
No.
look,
it's like
I knew
a
it.
vampire. It's like
Phil
a
is a
vampire.
Martin.
You gotta get out
Phil
before
is
the
gonna
sun
kick
come
her
up.
out.
She
You
can
gotta
bring him
get
a
out
can of
before the sun
spam
come
now,
up.
baby. You give Phil a can of spam. Courthouse, baby.
Phil,
Courthouse.
she is not touching Phil's dishes. If you
Not
touch
at
my,
all. Not at all.
she is not touching. She's not even knowing where his kitchen is at. Okay. If I wake up and I see you touch.
While Peter Investor talking, he said chicken egg, duck egg, ostrich egg. Duck eggs are good, and just duck breast as a whole is delicious. So if y'all ain't been cultured enough to try that, y'all need to get y'all some duck in y'all life for real.
I am learning a lot about Peter Investor because he's an egg dude.
He on one today. I don't know what he got going on.
I know
Peter
is on. My guy is on it today, boy. That egg story just it's stuck on him. And who said the eggs? It was DC, right? He said,
Yeah, she in
eggs
there
in the
cooking.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah, she got your T-shirt on. You in there cooking eggs and bacon
You know
and
what?
all that good
What
stuff.
slipped my mind was the fact that she got your T-shirt on.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, that's next level.
Yeah. I changed it from and then she was matter of fact she got it on. Even changed the number.
What?
I'm messing with y'all. I'm messing with you. But anyway,
And she got your T-shirt on. If that's Shedeur, she got the T-shirt on. Come on, bro.
Yep, she got my cowboy shirt on.
That's
My
your
Bama shirt on.
cowboy.
It's on. It's
Oh
over.
no. Oh no. Oh no, bro. If that's the case, she in there. And you allowed it. Phil would have took his one of those pads that they use for the when they're chastising the line, the people that are on the line, those paddles. Phil would have took his paddle that he got patted on when he was on the line for the band. He would have took that and whooped her with it.
No, listen. Grambling State University Marching Band, we are a non-hazing organization. So I don't know what you talk about when it comes to the paddle stuff. We are a non-hazing organization.
You can't deny or confirm this story, can you?
I ain't got nothing to do with it. We are a non-hazing organization. Anybody that is a part of the Grambling Marching Band, they put forth their best effort because that's what they want to do. not because they are coerced to do anything that they don't want to do. Full stop. And that's all I got to say.
Are you still a representative of this band? Because I feel like,
hey, okay, I'm sorry. Real talk. In 2026, that is going to be the 100th year anniversary for Gramblin's marching band, and we're trying to get as many alumni to come back to homecoming. So if anybody's a Gremlin alumni and you were in the band and you're in this chat, come on back to Gremlin in 2026. We're going to have an alumni band. We're trying to put at least like 200, 300 people in the alumni band for homecoming. So it's going to be dope. So 2026, Gremlin going to be lit. That's all I got to say.
2026, we're going to get the Pac-12 back and Gremlin's going to be lit. I think we should leave it right there.
Pac-12 is trash. What are we talking about, Harry? Stop it.
Yo.
We're not dealing. Listen, we're not trying to be nice to these Group of 5 conferences, man. Like they're not.
Ashton Genty was Group of 5, wasn't he? Wasn't Ashton Genty Group of 5?
No. I'm talking about Group of 5 as a whole. Boise State was good. Arizona State was good. They don't have what it takes to win multiple games in a playoff to win the championship. And
Arizona State was not Group of 5, first of all.
But my point is, people try to say, "Oh, well, the Big 12's not that bad." Woo, doo, doo, woo. Arizona State almost beat Texas. Okay, they almost beat Texas, but could they almost beat Ohio State? Could they almost beat Notre Dame? Could they almost beat Penn State?
But how do you know if they don't never play?
Harry, it's a difference between getting up for one game, but to win multiple games, they just can't do it. And if you look at college football as a whole, they don't have the juice. Full stop. And you can think what you want to think, and you can be naive as you want to be. But I just can't. I can't follow that.
You're trying to draw me into a football conversation that you're not going to win.
The Group of 5. Listen, the Group of 5 just don't have the juice to play against the Power 4. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with. I'm not going to say Group of 5 is going to be playing Power 4 and they're going to be winning games. But what I'm telling you is everybody starts that way, and it all has to do with recruiting. So you got to give them a chance to get up to gear, because once they become Power 5, then at the end of the day, they start to get better recruiting.
I don't care what you're talking about. So you're wrong. Also, I just want to point out. The Texas Truth talk about hold on. I just want to go with the Texas Truth. He said PV greater than Grambling. I don't know how old you are, the Texas Truth, but when I was in college, PV and Grambling got into a fight after the game at the State Fair Classic, and Grambling putting them paws on PV. PV will never, ever, ever hold a torch to Grambling. So please don't be talking crazy in the chat when it comes to PV. You're wrong and you know it, and you just want to lie to yourself to make yourself feel better. But Grambling, at the end of the day, is the filet mignon of HBCU football teams.
Yo,
they are the champagne of champagnes of college football teams. So the Texas Truth, don't ever fix your mouth to say that about PV compared to Grambling, because you're wrong and you know. That's all I got to say.
Yo, Phil is on one right now. Let's go final thoughts, please. Let's get up out of here before you start a fight. You see, because are we talking about Prairie View or whatever?
Prairie View A&M.
Prairie
They
View
lost 85 games in a row or some crazy mess like that. They trash, and the Texas Truth know it. That's why he trying to say something.
He walked you into a. I'm glad you had your doodoo shoes on today, because you stepped right into that. He's letting you know that he knew you were going to walk into that. Bro, he just set you up and you walk right into it too.
Hey, anyway. The Texas Truth, if you want to go into a friendly wager, I got Grambling winning by 10 plus against PV in Dallas this year. Talk to me. Hit me up in the chat.
Anyway. All right, DC. So you got cooked. Say thank you. Are you taking your plate to go, DC?
Oh no, man. I'm just sitting up here going, you know what? I realized something, man. And my closing comment is this, and it'll just wrap it all up as I lick my wounds. Did y'all know that over 2,000 years ago, a star appeared in the sky, and the 3 wise men followed it to a manger, and in that manger, they came to find a child, King of Kings. And then
that story has not been verified.
Hold on. And then they turned around and they looked over, and saw another baby, a baby laying in a manger who had the number 2 on there, which will become number 12. Because listen to this conversation. It is
My God, on
obvious
today.
that you know what I'm saying. Mama say, Mama Sama Makusa. That when it comes down to Shedeur Sanders, you better not say nothing other than yes, ma'am, yes, sir. The greatest thing. Forget Michael Jackson. I'm just saying. Point being, so you know what? But here's the thing I would say is that folks, especially even my haters, because haters have haters. The thing with football is we're all gonna have different perspective. What I would like to see more of is that we can have the comments with none, like somebody just random on the internet with a consonant, gonna sit back and say FUGC. I love it though, because understand if you knew me, you know I feed off of it. Ah.
Yes, he does.
Anyway, I
Please
have
don't
enjoyed
get
this
him started.
conversation. This has been great. Feed
Don't
me
get.
more haters.
Lord have mercy. Hey, when Shedeur becomes a starter, I want you to double back because I will. Yes, you're gonna get this work. Phil, final thoughts. Let's get up out of here.
Hey, listen. Remember, you're blessed to be a blessing. Be blessed, not stressed. And if you're blessed to be a blessing, don't walk around here and not bless somebody else. Man, life is short. Put a smile on somebody's face. Put a smile on your face. At the end of the day, we just talk about football. It ain't that serious. We having a good time. We laughing. If you tapping in to hate, then you got a miserable life. If you tapping in because you enjoy talking about football, then keep on coming on. Please like, share, and subscribe. All that good stuff. It's been fun. I love you all. I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. And remember, it's just football. It's not that serious. Just smile. Just smile. That's all I ask everybody
Oh,
who in
nah,
the
it's about to
chat.
get
Just
serious.
smile.
It's about to get serious. Nah, y'all not gonna get off on that. It's about to get serious. It's gonna get serious. Then DC, keep that same energy. I want to let you know, keep that same energy. And wait, where did we find Shedeur? Do y'all remember where we found Shedeur, right? I don't think I came live. I think I made a short and I told y'all where you can find Shedeur. I told y'all where you can find Shedeur in the Bible. Y'all remember, right? Because DC, you just started it. I told you where you can find Shedeur in the Bible. Shedeur is in the Bible, and you can find him in the Bible.
Talking about Ecclesiastes.
Not in, was it No, it wasn't Ecclesiastes. You Shedeur. Okay, you can find Shedeur. I'm gonna put it up so you can see. Since I'm live, let's do it live. Why not? All right. So what? Oh man.
Hey, good. Well, before you say it, you know who also is in the Bible?
Oh Lord.
You ready?
Dylan is in the Bible.
Gabriel. It's not
You know,
Gabriel in the Bible, Phil.
so is Moses.
You walk in heaven.
So is Joe. That's what Jesus' daddy was, Joseph. Joe for short, right?
Joe Jackson.
Hey, but let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. If y'all was Joseph and Mary came to y'all and was like, "Hey, I'm
Oh
about to have
gosh.
this baby," but
Hey,
y'all
hold
ain't
up.
never,
Are we about to sin messing with you? Are we about to go repent messing with you? First of all, let's make sure.
Well, Phil,
that's between
Phil,
you and the
from
Most High.
no, but Phil, from a biblical standpoint, he had to feel some kind of way because the angel had to say, hold on, before you do this.
Hold on. Nah,
It's,
nope,
it's,
we're
it's
not
the
doing this.
guy's
Let's end
baby.
this show. Nope, we ain't doing this. Nope, we're not doing this.
But he
Phil
talking,
is
but
not
he
about to get me
talking,
caught up.
I'm telling the
but he
truth,
talking
though.
scripture though. He talking scripture.
Nope, we ain't doing this.
The
Nope,
angel did
Phil
show up, but
Shedeur is
tell it.
found in Numbers 2, verse 10. If you do the math, what do you get?
I get a
Oh, so
2,
now
and
you
then
a
the
five
chapter
percenter.
10.
What's today's mathematics? You a 5%er, huh? Okay, I see what you're saying. What's today's mathematics? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
Shedeur is
Okay.
found in Numbers 2, If you add them up, that's 12. I'm just saying. Okay? So
What if it's subtracted though? Go ahead.
you're not subtracting, you're adding.
When you do mathematics, you got to add, God.
Thank you. You're adding, okay? You're adding 2 and 10. I mean, it's a perfect scenario. You feel me?
Legendary, perfect timing.
Perfect timing. And that's a good place to end. Hey, listen, man. DC, you used to believe. You knew Shedeur was who he is. Like I told you, the way that you thinking right now about Shedeur is not equivalent to how we think about Shedeur. So you're gonna have to eat that, man. That's it. Ain't nothing else. You're gonna have to eat that. We think differently from you. But so base your arguments on that. Your arguments are all based on that. So when you argue with somebody in the chat, just remember, y'all not on the same page to start off with. So the argument is always going to be like, it's going to be weighted differently. They're arguing from a whole nother perspective, and you're arguing from a whole different perspective. So you're never going to meet. Never going to meet eye to eye. It's never going to happen. You have to be on the same page so that the argument can be valid. But
Right. That's why y'all need to get on my page because I'm right.
Yeah, talk DC.
You're not right because we already have evidence that Shedeur is who we say that he is. We're going off of the evidence that we have. We're not allowing our eyes and what we already know to deceive us because we've seen it already. But you saw it with us, and you're not trying to accept what you saw. So that we can't help you with that. You saw it, you knew it, and then something changed your mind because you're believing that what happened in the draft, all of the teams could not be wrong. But we on this side of the town believe that they are all wrong. And that's where we are arguing from. So just understand that. That's it. All right, guys, let's get up out of here. I'll see you on the next time. I got to make this more regular. I know people are looking for it, but we got to make this more regular. If I just come on here and talk college football, I got to come on here and talk college football. If I don't have no rounds or nothing to talk about, then it is what it is. We got to start talking college football. All right, guys. Y'all be easy. Have a great weekend. Peace.
All right, man. Be blessed.
All right, guys.